at halftime and get them out and keep them competitive. And I suspect tonight we're going to see a very high-scoring, highly competitive, emotional game from both teams.
On the flip side, Wayne Harris, what a job he's done with these Calgary Dinos. They have dominated UBC since Blake Nill has left. I think UBC has won one game, and that was the Hardy Cup 2 years ago. You got to give it to Wayne Harris. It's not easy to maintain the momentum that Blake Nill had started in Calgary.
Yeah. It's one thing to have a great, competent football team, but to be as persistent as the whole University of Calgary program has been. And with that really strong, I think out of the West, they're probably the strongest teams in terms of preparing and sending players on to the next level in the CFL. So they're doing a lot of good things right with this UC Dino football program.
Well, we're going to see Adam Sinagra, the quarterback, wearing number 12 today. Joshua Nanti, the running back, will wear number 21, and they will be key guys to watch. But UBC will start on offense. Calgary will kick it off here to the Birds. And that sun blurring right down on us here, but we can make out that number 1 on that black jersey of Travell Pinto, and he is back to receive the kick.
He's got Maxwell back there with him, number 3. A little bit hard to pick out in the shadows, but 2 strong return men. Hopefully we'll get a great play right out of the gate here for UBC.
So pumped to get underway. DeFonte set to make the opening kickoff.
Great energy level here tonight from the crowd. Lots of BC players on this Calgary team as well. We'll be mentioning them as we go through the game tonight.
So DeFonte with a kick, and indeed it is Maxwell back there with Travell Pinto. Wearing number 3, that is Will Maxwell, the former Calgary receiver. He shifted into that defensive secondary here as he's come to UBC. And we are now going to get underway as the kick is driven down the field, and it's going to be Maxwell taking it at his own 1-yard line. And he is going to get taken down at about just over the 20-yard line. So nice return there for UBC to get things underway here.
Yeah, a local boy, Blake Gow, in on that special teams tackle, number 51.
We know that name. South Delta product, is he not?
You bet. Yeah, there's a couple of South Delta boys on this team, Jack McDonald and Charlie Moore. Hope to be calling their names out a lot tonight.
Jack McDonald also had a great career with the Sun Devils. You're right about that. And South Delta once again in the thick of things in the BC high school world, which I'm normally writing those high school reports today. I'm going to actually do that tomorrow and focus on Birds football here today. Is O'Connor out of the shotgun, the first offensive snap of the game. It's a handoff. And some nice moves working up the field by the Birds. They're going to get to about the 45-yard line. And what a run that was there for Sugar Shane Noel, number 28. That might be Noel's longest run of the season.
Yeah. Great knifing back and forth on that play.
Mika Tights, the linebacker, number 42 from the Dinos, primarily in there, although a swarm of Calgary players met him. Shane Noel, we were expecting Ben Cummings, RB1 here in the backfield, but it's Shane Noel, who wasn't even on the depth chart in the 2 deep as a starting running back. Snap, and they'll go to Noel again. This time he'll try to break it around the edge. Bit of a stutter step, doesn't get too much on that one. So Shane Noel, the St. Thomas More Knights product out of Burnaby, with a nice opening run here, but he's going to lose. Brent looks like he's going to lose 2 yards.
Yeah, 2 yards. Great play by defensive lineman Brett Wade getting in from that D position to limit him and stuff him for about a 2-yard loss on that play.
Brett Wade, a senior out of Regina Thunder, making that stop. One of the more experienced guys along that Calgary defense. Trips to the near side of the field here. Flag is thrown as O'Connor puts it up just across the 50-yard line, and the catch made there by the Calgary native Trey Kellogg.
Yeah, I think traditionally UBC and Calgary have exchanged a lot of their high school players back and forth. You know, it's far enough away from mom and dad, but not too far away to get out and still have that connection to home. And so it's kind of a head shaker when you're used to calling these kids from their high school programs and seeing where they end up in university.
Well, it's going to be 3rd and long here, 3rd and about 4.5 yards, and UBC has brought their kicker Hutchins onto the field. Greg Hutchins will punt here. So off the top, an exciting first foray there from Shane Noel. A big return over the 40-yard line, but the offense stalls here for the Birds, and they will kick it away. Back to receive is Leonard, number 2. He will catch it at the 30. No fair catch called for it. He's going to get dragged out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Some shoving after the play. They're going to spot the ball at about the 38-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, Chris Dixon in on that special teams tackle, and yeah, the emotional part has already kicked in. They're letting each other know where they are, making sure they know who the names are, and making that presence felt early in this game.
So Calgary now set to go on offense for the first time tonight is their quarterback, Sinagra, out of the shotgun. Antwi in the backfield. Sinagra lots of time to find a man on the far side of the field, out of bounds at about the 49-yard line. And that is
Lucas, I believe, on the catch.
My eyes are deceiving me. We'll go with that. But nice throw there. Nice safe play to get things underway here for the Dinos to get a first down and build some momentum. They're at their own 50-yard line. With another first down. There's a handoff to Antwi. He's going to get caught behind the line of scrimmage, and a great job there by the Birds. It looks like the tackle there made by number 27, Colton Zaishley, one of the linebackers for the Thunderbirds. Yeah. So no gain on that play, a loss of 1.
Well, so far in these two things, I think you'll be happy with UBC. They're establishing a bit of a field position dominance and should be in a good spot here. Let's see what Calgary's got dialed up.
Dinos here, 2nd and 11. Sinagra finds a man in the flat, and he will get taken down at the UBC 50-yard line. And that's Klukas, number 19, getting hauled down.
Yeah, with authority on that tackle, knifing up there. That ball came out funny from Sinagra's hand there. It looked like a bit of a wobbler, but wide receiver, excellent job corralling it and holding on, taking the big hit.
I think that was Gene Ventos, the defensive back lined up on the far side of the field, who actually got that stop. So he hustled across field to make that play. The Calgary again with another first down. They're second of this series. Antwi takes a handoff, gets knocked down and dragged down. Nice tackle there made by Maxwell, number 3.
Yeah, classic high-low tackle. Maxwell down on the bottom and Elliot Graham up top there. That was a good hit on the running back. Surprised to see him pop up so quick.
Elliot Graham, remember the huge return for the touchdown off the interception he had a couple of weeks ago here in that win over Saskatchewan. So Elliot Graham as a freshman, what an impact he's made along that UBC defense. So we'll call it 2nd and 8 here from the UBC 47-yard line. Antwi finds a crease, goes up the middle, and has got enough for the first down and more. He's taken down at about the 34-yard line of the UBC Thunderbirds.
Number 27 in on the tackle for UBC, Colton Zaishley again. And great little play call from Calgary. Nice little quick pump fake pass that backed the linebackers up, and then a bit of a quick draw.
But there was a flag on the field, and I think this is coming back. Indeed, the penalty being called against the Dinos, so that wipes out a big gain. Antwi did a great job, and you see the quicks he's got, the instinctive running up the middle, but it's all going to come back.
Yeah, that hold might have been what sprung him loose there, but I still like that play call from Calgary. Mix it up early, get UBC guessing what's coming, and show them all the looks.
So Calgary 1st and 10 at the UBC 51-yard line. Sinagra looks downfield. He's going to air it out. He's got a man. And it's, great battle for the ball there. A near interception there by Gene Ventos. And that pass was intended for Michael Klukas.
Yeah, Michael Klukas, leading receiver for Calgary, and that was a battle in there. Sinagra's definitely not afraid to lay it into him. You see he's got a high degree of confidence in his receiver.
Ventos, though, as a freshman guy in the secondary, you love how he challenged and turned at the last second to avoid the flag there and did a great job, almost picked it off. So 2nd and 10 now at the 49-yard line of the Birds. Sinagra again working behind that O-line. This time finds a man, drops it in the bucket there. And a great catch there made by Carl, number 86. A big body there, but he found found some safe harbor there.
Dropped it into the bucket, and guess who's in on that great tackle? There's Maxwell again.
Maxwell all over the place. And I should reference this. I wrote a story about him on my site, varsityletters.ca, this week. He had only played on offense his entire career. He said as of 11 months ago, he had never made a tackle. And he's leading the UBC Thunderbirds in tackles this year. So a great story there on the Calgary transfer. There's Antwi down to about the 26-yard line, but another flag thrown on the field on the near sideline. Tanner Friesen there, coming up and making the tackle number 40.
Yeah, the ref's presence is coming out here. Lots of penalties early in this game. I guess they got to make the tone known to the players. What's going to be allowed, I guess, and not. But it's so disruptive in the flow of the game if you've got penalties going back and forth.
Well, this time against UBC, I think they called it against Elliot Graham, number 90.
First and 5.
First and 5 at the UBC 27, and this UBC defense getting its first true test of the young contest. This explosive Calgary team that comes in with a plus 131, I believe it was, on the season, or some ridiculous number like that in the Canada West. So dominant on offense, and here they come again. They're going to hand it off to Antwi. And UBC doing a pretty solid job there. Tanner Friesen again there with the tackles. Ashley around the ball as well as Elliot Graham. They're around everything.
Yeah, those linebackers are really stepping up and making some great tackles for UBC tonight. I think we talked earlier about the transitions with the people stepping up in different positions, and the thing that sticks with me from their first home game this year is the transitions in the defensive backfield and names that we haven't been calling before that are stepping up and making plays. I just wanted to get that on record.
I think that's a great point to make, Brent. And it looks like Calgary check that is going to call a timeout here. And they've got Josiah Joseph, number 1, in at quarterback right now. But their ball control ability with Antwi and their passing game, you can see why they're 4-0 as they head into this game.
Yeah. Pretty diversified, pretty even play balance, and good selection. And they're looking here at the classic, what's becoming that classic Canadian play, bringing the back up and pile it over to one side or the other, maybe get an offside jump or something like that in the process.
So Josiah Joseph, number 1, was in a battle with Adam Sinagra in camp from all we read, and Sinagra was able to win the job. But what a great situation for Wayne Harris to have 2 guys he can bring in there and really change things up. And Josiah Joseph in there right now as the Calgary team huddles here on the near sideline. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here. The sun's setting at beautiful Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver, British Columbia. Howard Smurra, Brent Calvert here. It's Canada West TV. Hope you enjoy our broadcast tonight and a pivotal game here in the Canada West, across the nation for that matter. The number 2 ranked Calgary Dinos with that perfect 4-0 record, all on the line against this UBC team with a 3-1 record and a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, important here. You want to get that field goal is probably doable from this point. But looks like Calgary, they want to be aggressive. They want to set the tone and get after this on second down.
Well, we'll see that offensive line in action here against this UBC defensive line. And who is going to get to be the bully here on 2nd and 2? Joseph, a little bit... not the smoothest exchange there, but he takes it and finds a way to go over center.
Yeah, that little change in cadence with the shift. The line was firing out, and he was a little bit flat-footed, but made the dive and got the first down.
Yeah, they're going to move the sticks. You're right, Brandon. This Calgary team is marching here just inside the 22 of the UBC Thunderbirds. And they'll bring Sinagra back into the game. And what are your thoughts on play call selection here from the just outside the red zone?
I'm liking it so far. I think Calgary's really mixing it up and keeping UBC guessing what's coming next.
And they're doing that with the play of Antwi, who steps in this time to block. They go to the far sideline, a quick pass there, and a catch made by the Dinos. And it's so hard to see. I believe that was Klukas, but the sun is right in our eyes here.
Yeah, and number 19 again for UBC on the tackle. Jean Ventros. That's a long ball. You forget in the Canadian League when you throw that
certainly.
ball from one hash to the far side, it's hanging up there a long time. That was a great pass from Sinagra. You don't make that completion, that can be a pick six the other way.
And Ventos doing a solid job here, as along with another guy, Peyton LaGrange. These two rookie first-year guys in the secondary doing a great job for UBC. Here's Sinagra back to pass this time to the near sidelines. Has a man. It's Carl. Great open field tackle there. That's a touchdown saver for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
And stepping up to make that one is Ventos again.
Yeah, he's had a strong first quarter here. Really playing well. We've got a UBC player down on the field, just trying to get a number for people here. Looks like number 91. That's
Connor Griffiths, the veteran, yes.
Yeah, taking a knee. Not sure what he's favoring here, but training staff out quick. And this, gives Calgary a bit of time, but it also gives UBC a bit of time to look at what sort of adjustment they want to make here to slow down the T-Birds on this drive.
Connor would come off under his own power if he could. They're actually helping him off the field a bit here to get him off a little quicker here. But Connor Griffiths, one of the veterans of that UBC Thunderbird defensive line. UBC is doing their best to plug the dike here, but Calgary just so consistently, the hammer to the nail here, consistently moving down the field. And now they'll line up on... Third and 2, it looks like, in there. Scrambling. Pass is picked off. It's picked off right at the goal line. And what a great job there by the Birds. That's Malcolm Lee. Malcolm Lee with a big pick. It's a touchdown saver for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I really like what Calgary's doing. They're doing that stop play to get UBC to reveal their defensive coverage package. And Sinagra rolled out, and he didn't look confident in what was happening there. And
he just tried to thread a needle there, yeah.
The coach is going to tell him, hey, throw that one away, because that was into heavy coverage, and that's a momentum changer down on the goal line. This UBC blackout thing's working for the Birds so far.
Well, that athletic secondary is really making its mark, and we've already been talking about Jean Ventos, Maxwell as well, number 3, A.J. Blackwell, who didn't play last week, I believe, in the lineup again this week, and the other guy, Malcolm Lee, is the guy who comes up with the pick there. Of course, the All-Canadian right in the middle, that safety, Stavros Katsantonis, the Bakersfield Bandit. So this UBC secondary really doing a good job.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, down there, there's nothing wrong with just throwing that ball away, right? You're definitely in field goal range. And this is that kind of game we mentioned earlier. The past 6 or so contests have all been a field goal difference. And so anytime you get a chance to get points with these two teams on the field, you've got to get them.
Yeah, 3-point game, an overtime game. I mean, it has been crazy. Calgary did hand it to UBC to start the 2016 season. That was a definitive win, but I believe that's the only one out of the last 5 or 6 games that has been decided by under a touchdown. So these two teams matched evenly, and it's looking that way here early. UBC in this game of chess coming up with a big pick.
Yeah, and that, again, the depth in the UBC running game with expected players starting tonight, Cummings and Nagata, nowhere to be seen so far. But, again, just a great problem for UBC to have.
Well, I don't know what Blake's doing with his depth chart to us. Even literally, Shane Noel's name wasn't on the depth chart at the 2 deep, and he takes the first handoff of the game and goes to the 40-yard line. So I don't know what's going on with that one.
Keeping us on our toes up here.
He certainly is. So UBC will have a first down at their own 15-yard line. If you want to know where it was that Malcolm Lee made that pick, it was right on the goal line, maybe at about the 3-inch line. Moves it out to the 15, and that's where Michael O'Connor and company will start their second drive of the game. That was an extended Dinos drive. Fakes the handoff and goes over the middle to Delorier. Incomplete. Cummings into the game at number 4 in the backfield. O'Connor faked the handoff to him, went right over the middle to Delorier.
Yeah, seeing Cummins, again, in the game. Maybe it was a disciplinary thing, sitting out the first series, but ball came out kind of awkward from O'Connor there on that first pass.
You wonder about that. And there's number 1, Travell Pinto, the dynamic weapon in motion along with Delorier on the near side of the field. Here's O'Connor. He looks the other way. Has a man. Not a big game there, though, on second down for the Birds. Iwannabe with the tackle there on the flare to the sideline to Cummings.
Yeah, getting out there quick from his linebacker position.
Great job by the Dinos on defense is going to force UBC to kick it away here from deep in their own end.
Yeah, and in this 3-down variation of the football game, this is where that investment in a great punter really pays dividends. And again, Hutchins doing a great job here so far this year.
He
for
has
UBC.
certainly been carrying on a legacy here. The last few kickers at UBC have done a terrific job, and here he gets it to bounce over midfield, takes a great UBC bounce. And here come the Dinos. UBC can't stretch it out to the edge. A nice tackle, but Calgary with Leonard, Dion Leonard, returning it right to midfield. So Calgary thwarted at the goal line, Brent, but they're going to start it right at midfield here.
Yeah, Liam Mahara coming in and looked like that might have been a real dangerous tackle. He just got him by the arm and brought him down. All that weight on the shoulder, you don't want to see that as a fan, but tough player getting up, and it looks like we have a UBC player down again on the field. Just trying to get a number here.
While we await that, I can tell you Liam Mahara, what a career he had as a running back at Vancouver College, and really is supplying some great play to the Birds. He's not getting to be that guy, that featured guy in the backfield, but great tackle there.
Yeah, Nico Rapoli. It looks like a veterans parade here going off with the injuries tonight, and he's up under his own steam. Looks like a bit of a shoulder stinger.
So Rapoli is going to head off the field. Another one of those St. Thomas More Knights. They are all over this UBC roster, from Delorier to Rapoli to Dante Vigini to Malcolm Lee. A ton of STM players on this UBC Thunderbirds football team. 1st and 10 at midfield here for Sinagra. Breaks contain, finds Antwi across the 50 where he is tackled out of bounds. Looks like the tackle there was made by Dante Vigini. I think number 56, Brent, I'm not sure.
I thought Friesen had got in low on him.
Oh,
He's
could have
down
been Friesen.
underneath the Calgary guys, got a good low hit. And yet another UBC player down on the field here, number 27, Colton Zaishley. Training staff's getting a workout tonight
they
for UBC.
They certainly are. Zaishley, one of the linebackers out of Lord Tweedsmuir and Surrey. We've mentioned his name a couple times already. And he has worked his way up to the status of a starting guy in that linebacking core for Blake Nill. So Zaishley, a valuable member of this UBC football team.
Yeah, they're getting a little thin going out here one by one. We've been talking about depth. We might be calling a few names we haven't called yet for UBC out there tonight, at least on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, peaks and valleys for both teams, who are still knotted at zeros here, as Zaishley will walk off under his own power. 5:29 left in the opening quarter of play.
Definitely some popping going on the line. It's nice just to zero in and look at that defensive-offensive line battle that's going on, and there's some hitting happening down in the trenches tonight.
There certainly is, and we'll continue to keep a close eye on the big guys up front on both of these teams. So Calgary, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. 1st and 20, check that. And Sinagra wants to get it all, and and it was caught and dropped after a big hit there from Will Maxwell.
Yeah, Will Maxwell and number 40 for UBC in on that play again. Tanner Friesen, bit of a sandwich tackle and just popping that ball loose. Again, another example of those big hits we're seeing right across the board here tonight.
That was Richard Sindani, number 89. Thought he had squeezed the ball there, but big hitting coming on from that UBC secondary. And boy, Maxwell, I tell you, Blake Nill just knows what to do with these guys. He finds an athlete, he finds a comfort zone for him, and it's just turning him into an all-conference defensive back. Here's Sinagra facing the pressure, breaks out, but he's going to face a host of Birds and get knocked down at about his own 47-yard line.
Yeah, it's number 33 for UBC. Brad Friesen in on that tackle. Big hit on Sinagra, and it looks like number 90 for UBC again. Elliot Graham, a bit slow to get up, but he's up under his own power, and then training staff's coming out to meet him as well. So bit of an attrition war going on here for UBC defense, but they're holding their own and forcing Calgary into a punting situation.
Well, Connor Griffiths left, and I'm not sure if he's actually returned for that defensive group. They certainly can't afford to have Elliot Graham take a seat as well. But great job by the UBC defense. They're going to get a chance to bring this one back. And UBC at his own 20-yard line, and that's Stavros Katsantonis, the all-Canadian strong safety, returning it. Blake Nill is throwing out everybody in the return game. He's using 5 or 6 different guys to return kicks.
Yeah, and it's great having that depth, but football players want to get in a rhythm. You've got to get them established and get them going. And usually when you get that going, then you can give some breather breaks and things like that. But so far, I'm not sure what we're seeing here. We haven't seen a lot of consistency at any position, consistency in catching or running, and that makes it tough for the offense to get moving.
So Katsantonis, I'm just not used to seeing him in the return game. He's done plenty of it, but as of late, there have been some different guys in that position for UBC.
Yeah, and again, all great athletes, right? They can probably, at some point, they've probably played all these positions in their earlier careers.
Certainly.
But nice to have the flexibility, but real head scratcher on following the roster here.
Katsantonis actually works out in the offseason with the Carr brothers, including the Oakland Raiders quarterback, knows him down from their home down in California. So kind of neat for Katsantonis to get that experience every summer. Fakes to Cummings. The pass is going to be caught by Delorier. Tries to turn a corner to gain a bit more yardage, but is going to get tackled shy of the first down. But J.J. Delorier, number 7, is another St. Thomas More Knights product. The tackle there by number 26 Matthew Lecision. So Lecision with the stop there, but Delorier did some fine work to get him to 2nd and 1 at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, great position for UBC here. You can get creative in the playbook for sure.
And Sugar Shane Noel lining up in the backfield again, this time with Michael O'Connor, the quarterback. The handoff does go to Noel, and he is going to get the first down. I believe, Brent, he's got the yardage, but he's going to get driven back, but I think he got across the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and guess who on the tackle? Leading tackler Mika Tietz in there, just hammering Noel. Definitely got the first down, and the shenanigans continue. Back judge coming in with a late flag here with the scrum pile.
Look at Tietz. That guy has some size at the linebacker spot, wearing number 42. 6'2", 225, a fourth-year Calgary native.
Yeah, solid tackler, leading that way for Calgary. He's been doing that for many years. And it looks like UBC got the first down and has got a 15-yard.
A 15-yard penalty against the Birds is going to, when you were talking about the shenanigans.
Yeah, that was late. That the back judge was strolling in, and probably somebody on a retaliation shot getting caught on that one, and sort of discipline here that Blake Nill will be losing his mind about it.
That halftime is a bad one for the UBC Thunderbirds. They're hemmed in deep here, and Calgary here loaded for bear on the defense. Oh, this time going over the middle for Travell Pinto, almost intercepted. I believe that was, you're right, it was a wannabe, number 7.
Yeah, he just got up, and, O'Connor's a big guy, 6'4", 6'5" in that range. And Calgary defender just got vertical right at the right time. You're coached coming in from that linebacker position or on the D-line, get your hands up. Good things can happen. Well,
UBC dodged a bullet there. They wanted Pinto, almost gave up a quick pick 6 right to the house. O'Connor now on 2nd and 10. Looking downfield, has a man. It's Trey Kellogg down to the 27-yard line. Trey, a smart catch. He moved past the sticks, and he's going to get him out of some danger.
Yeah.
Tackle being made there by Lecision, number 26, the defensive back.
There you go. A little bit of breathing room now for the Birds out from under the shadow of those goalposts.
Getting them out to where they were almost before that penalty, and a good job there by Trey Kellogg. Precise route running there. And great hands by the Calgary native, number 21, Trey Kellogg. 1st and 10, UBC at their own 27-yard line. O'Connor over the middle, has a man in Delorier, and he drags down a Calgary defender to the 43-yard line. What a great job there for the St. Thomas More Knight product.
Yeah, nice play. Sort of a shirt-saving tackle by Nick Stats.
Yeah,
just going along for a bit of a ride. So,
Delorier, not a guy with the blazing speed, but so smart, as they like to say, runs a great route and has the sure hands, and he is making a difference here for UBC number 7 in that receiving core. Here's O'Connor. This time goes to Pinto, but that one seemed doomed from the outset. I don't know if O'Connor wasn't planted properly. Pinto seemed to stumble out of the break there as he turned. It had disaster written all over it.
Yeah, I mean, Calgary's been blitzing on that last series, at least sending one extra guy, and I think O'Connor maybe panicked a little bit on wanting to get that ball out a bit quicker than he needed to. But, yeah, Pinto a little bit of a stumble, and just everything was off kilter on that play.
And, of course, Pinto had a huge game here against Saskatchewan in that victory by the Birds that shook off that opening week loss to Regina and got them on this 3-game win streak. Actually, that was the second win following that win over Manitoba. But Pinto has been pretty quiet. And, you know, he didn't play last week. I think legitimately, if they weren't playing Alberta, he might have played. But clearly, he's not his full self.
Yeah. He's been called on a lot this year, and it wouldn't be surprised if he's got a little list of injuries that are adding up.
It's Alex Morrison, Trey Kellogg, and Pinto to the far side of the field. Here's O'Connor dodging the pressure, running to the sidelines, still looking for a man, puts it up down the sidelines, batted away there by number 2, Dion Leonard. Got a good job there by Calgary on the edge to deny O'Connor and his scrambling ability on the sideline.
Yeah, and great discipline play from the right tackle for UBC there. Usually when your quarterback squeaks out that late going out on the flat, that's when you get the holding calls.
Holding calls, yes.
So real discipline there. He held his man and let him go, and just a bit of a tough throw on the run there for O'Connor to connect on.
Well, Hutchins has come in to punt, and boy, I'll tell you, with 1:52 remaining in this quarter, we are scoreless with these two teams. And the punt fielded at the Calgary 24, and that is number 3, Adam Lorenz.
Adam Lorenz, and tackled by Maxwell on the play. Another great special teams play by him. And
Will Maxwell, what a story he has turned out to be. And Blake Neal told me, because Blake had actually recruited him to Calgary out of St. Francis High School in Calgary, and said, you know what, I'm keeping this positive. He didn't have the greatest hands in the world to be a receiver, but he was a tremendous athlete, and the best part, he accepted the fact that I wanted to make him, a defensive back, to move to the other side of the ball, and look what's happened here. Yeah. He's got a path. This is a CFL draft year. Who knows what could happen? Exactly,
yeah, and again, some of the magic of Blake Neal and working with those players, and, real talent to see that development down the road 3 or 4 years in a player.
Maxwell, certainly a name to watch here in this UBC secondary. So Calgary now with the ball 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. And it is the man, Adam Sinagro, wearing number 12. Quick release to the far sideline. Great job there to gain about 9 yards. I'm trying to get the name of the Calgary receiver. Friesen made the tackle. Yeah. I believe that was Justin Daziuk who made the catch on the far sideline.
Yeah, that was a well-placed ball by Sinagra. A little bit of traffic there when he got that in.
Sets up a nice 2nd and 1 here for the Dinos at their own 50. Under center, Sinagra. They were going to sneak it for the first down, and I think they got it.
Yeah, there's some heft on that Calgary front line, the center and 2 interior guards. Look like they could be a little bit of a road grader if need be.
Josiah Joseph in there for that first down play. Sinagra now back at the controls, and boy, Brent, Calgary had a nice drive right down in the UBC heart of the red zone before they threw it away. They want to make up for that on this drive. Sinagra the handoff to Antwi, and he is going to get repelled after about a 2-yard gain at midfield. UBC says they have the football. We'll see how the call goes, and that's number 52, the freshman out of Vernon, Ben Hladek. Wow, Ben Hladek, the pure freshman.
Yeah, Bakersfield Bandit got his hand in there. He's been ripping away at that ball on all his tackles tonight, and he finally got lucky, popped that out.
Well, thanks for the eyes there. I didn't see Stavros Katsantonis. Jarred free. Hladek comes up with that ball.
Yeah.
Wow. So 2 drives now, Calgary's turned it over. This doesn't seem like the number 2 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, well, when you're on top, you've got something to lose, right? When you're number 2 coming up, you've got nothing to lose. And bit of an emotional gamut here for these teams.
So the Birds at the Calgary 54-yard line. There's a handoff. Fake the handoff. O'Connor still with it. Has Delorier with about a 6-yard gain. And I tell you, Delorier, the transfer from Simon Fraser, is a big target today for Michael O'Connor.
Yeah, Mika Teets in on the tackle again, but that's that rhythm. Delorier seems to be the guy that's getting loose, working his man, working his zone tonight. And we're seeing O'Connor rolling a bit more than we're used to. A little bit of play action, and that's freezing those linebackers. They have to respect that run. So all these pieces going together well for UBC.
Oh, the former Penn State quarterback doing what he needs to do within this offense to get the momentum going. Here they're going to find Trey Kellogg at about the 45-yard line. So that's going to bring up Brent about a 3rd and 2. We'll see what UBC elects to do here.
Yeah, Matthew Lusushin up on the tackle. Interesting field position here and a play call for Blake Nill to consider.
Yeah, O'Connor looking to the sidelines. They're not bringing in the short yardage quarterback here. O'Connor is going to run to the sidelines.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Paul Orzetti's over there talking with Blake Nill. Fortunate we've hit the 3-minute warning here with it, and gathering the troops on the side will be a bit of a surprise to see what they come out with.
Well, it's certainly been entertaining of opening quarter of play, remaining scoreless, and that only ups the ante in terms of the curiosity factor between these two great football teams. And hope you're enjoying our broadcast here on Canada West TV. What a job the Canada West has done in improving the delivery of their product to fans across the country. I watch these games at home on my computer, and I don't care what sport it is. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. Again, I think part of that revamped branding from U Sport right across the Ontario Football League, the OUA, all those games are available online for people to watch. They've got lots of excitement with homecoming. They're doing their own version of the blackouts. I saw the Griffins had a ball delivered on a parachutist the other day, and some good battles back east with Western and Waterloo going at it tomorrow, 2 undefeated teams. So
wow,
lots of excitement right across Canada. And of course, this is the year whoever comes out of the West is going to be playing that traditionally very strong opponent out of the Quebec League again. So the path to the Vanier is not without some pitfalls.
Boy, and I'll tell you, that 2015 Vanier run was an exciting one to watch, and the crazy weather and the fact that UBC had to stay on the road an extended period, it was all worth it when they were able to win that national championship. But that was certainly a journey for Blake Nill and company. And the Magic captured there in Blake's first season with the Birds to go and win a national title. Of course, Calgary has been so ultra consistent and a model franchise across the country. So what a game it is here. And what numbers jump out from you thus far?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I mean, time of possession a little bit in Calgary's favor in that first quarter, but I really think those turnovers, of course, big piece. That great way to end the half. Midfield getting that rip by Katsantonis and the recovery by Hladek sets a tone for UBC here. I mean, if you're plotting the field position with a little bit of good fortune and luck, UBC's got it on the Calgary side of midfield now, and now's the chance to get some points for the Thunderbirds.
Well, the Vernon Panthers, a shout out to that high school football team. Obviously, I think they have an off night tonight, one of the top 2 or 3 AA teams in the province, and I'm sure they're watching our broadcast, so our big shout out going to the Vernon Panthers and certainly Ben Hladek. What a job he's done as we get back to action on a 3rd and short, and that is a hard run to get the first down.
Yeah, Ben Cummings in on that carry.
So Cummings, the workhorse, and the guy who's been so big for UBC on the ground, powers his way through. The Robert Bateman Timberwolf out of Abbotsford, a great job there. First down and more.
Yeah, I just love that grip. It just oozes out of his body language when he plays.
I agree.
Right? So energizing for the team to see someone given that much effort and heart. That just lifts all the spirits right across the board.
Right across the board, and I don't know that we've seen a stable like this with Cummings and the way Noel's played as well here today. Here's a big pass down the field to Pinto! Travell Pinto! A touchdown! UBC Thunderbirds!
Wow.
Where did that come from? That was a quick strike, Brent.
Yeah, the last couple of games we've done with UBC is we've been shooting those short passes to the out. We haven't seen them challenge the middle of the field, and I would think on on film review and things like that, it's an area that Calgary might have napped a little bit on, but I got to hand it. Great catch, but when you look at the replay, O'Connor
put some mustard
stood
on
in
that
there
one.
to the very last minute while he was putting the mustard on that ball.
Boy, that had some give to it. You're right, and he did hang in there courageously. And the playmaker makes it happen. Hutchins with the point after of the Kellogg hold makes it 7-0. And boy, I'll tell you, Travell Pinto, so dangerous. Blake Nill said after the Saskatchewan game, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he could be the #1 pick in the CFL draft in a couple of years. But he was quiet. We even talked about the fact that maybe he's still a bit injured.
Yeah.
But he was explosive on that play.
Yeah,
boy.
for sure. And again, the base of that play, don't forget, you got that turnover at midfield, and traditionally teams are going to want to take a shot. They look at it like a freebie. Let's see if we can get it, and UBC cashed in. Tremendous catch by Pinto. Great pass by O'Connor.
Certainly, and Dinos fans know their team, as good as they've been playing, and you certainly can't fault anything Calgary's done except turn the ball over twice, and you just can't do that on the road in a game between two nationally ranked teams and two teams that are building a real history here against each other. Yeah. So the turnover goes for a major 7-0 UBC.
Yeah, nothing too much to be worried about here for the Dinos, right?
They are explosive, and that offense has been incredible. Here they are on the return. I believe that's Lawrence is going to get to about the 18-yard line, and he is taken down hard. I believe that was number 47.
32, actually.
Okay, you got better eyes than I do.
Yep.
Kyle Miller getting in there to make the hit.
Yeah, exchanged pleasantries after the hit as well there, so keeping that strong emotional tone going.
Great job there picking that one out quickly. Indeed, Kyle Miller, a nice hit there. Stopped Lawrence in his tracks, and Calgary will start at their own 19-yard line with Sinagra. Out of the shotgun, the handoff to Antwi. Oh, that is not Antwi. Apologies. Number 31 for the Dinos.
Stewart.
30. Robert Stewart, the running back. Exactly. Rambling and rumbling up the middle.
Yeah, big game. Just picking his way through that UBC, what was a sure tackling piece. There was a lot of arm tackles and misses on that play, but a great run by Stewart.
Yeah, so decisive when he saw that initial crease and just went. And the payoff is a first down at the Dinos' 33-yard line. Fake the handoff, come to the near sideline, and they will get up to about the 42-yard line.
That was Maxwell in on the tackle, and a great fake by Stewart in the backfield. He had me fooled. I was following him into the line, and
Antwi actually made the catch, number 21, the running back, so they brought him out of the backfield to make that catch, as you see here on the replay.
Yeah, they've got Antwi's working out in the slot position here. Stewart in the backfield.
So second and short here is the Dinos. Going back to Stewart, he's having some success coming up the middle. I believe that was him again.
Yep, that was Stewart again, and that was Tanner Friesen coming up from the linebacker position on the tackle. You know, and I think when you move a talent like Antwi outside, you know, the linebacker's got to back out a little bit and respect that speed that you've got on the outside. And that's given Stewart some opportunities to pick his way very effectively moving through the UBC team.
Well, Coach Harris, a great job there, giving UBC something to think about as we get the 1st and 10 at the 45. Fake the handoff this time. The quick pass, and a Dinos player still on his feet is going to get held behind the line of scrimmage. And it's Antwi again catching the pass.
Yeah, and guess who on the tackle again? Tanner Friesen.
Tanner Friesen, wow.
He's hustling tonight, man. He went screaming out there after that initial hit. Sort of missed the wrap-up and tackle, but Friesen made sure he got him a good secure ankle tackle there for Friesen.
If you're just joining us, 7-0 UBC. Their first score coming off Calgary's second turnover of this football game. Here's Sinagra on 2nd and 12. Looks downfield. Still has it. Short little pass. And the Dinos will get a first down with some tough running out on the far sideline, met by a host of Thunderbirds.
Yeah, that definition of gang tackling happening right there. And right in the thick of it, number 56, Dante Vigini, still down after that tackle. He right on the UBC sidelines. He was the main tackler in that pile. Looks like he's favoring his right ankle.
Well, they've sent Antwi out. This time they send number 30, Stewart, out. And so the Calgary backs are somewhat jump-starting this offense as pass catchers out of the backfield.
Yeah, they're taking a page out of Blake Mills' book, moving people around and slipping them into different positions on us here tonight. But it's working, that mix. And, there's a veteran coach, right, with Calgary shaking it up and making it all work for the Dinos on this drive.
Certainly as a player and as a coach, Harris with this Calgary program for 40 years. That is an extended period of time. Calgary with a big first down at the UBC 53-yard line. Another big test here for the UBC defense. Sinagra the handoff to Stewart, and he is making some big ground gains here. He's going to get taken down at about the 38-yard line. Hard guy to bring down.
Yeah, really effective.
He's breaking tackles consistently.
Yeah, Katzentonis coming up and getting to him, but really effective runner, and he's got a great hands down technique, right? He just keeps his balance and get that hand down and keep going and picking up 3 or 4 extra yards at a chunk there with great effort.
You saw that, you're right, to maintain that balance and keep it going. So a solid job there by Robert Stewart, number 30. And another deep drive here by Calgary at the UBC 39, Sinagra. He's being pursued by Griffiths in the backfield, gets it away, and the catch made it about the UBC 35-yard line.
Yeah, number 85, great.
Bacillus, 85, yes, with a catch there.
Super athletic catch. He twisted his body around. That ball was a little bit behind him and secured the catch all the way down to the ground.
And Griffiths, who had left the game in the first quarter with an injury, was there pursuing Adam Sinagra in the backfield. Chased him out of the pocket, but Calgary comes through and keeps the sticks moving here down the field.
As you'd expect, Calgary's answering back. That turnover mistake at midfield, UBC scores, and this is the kind of answer you'd expect out of a veteran, well-coached, very athletic team like Calgary.
So I believe they called a penalty against UBC. I thought I heard 52, Ben Haladik. But this is going to boost the Dinos' field position down to about the 29-yard line of the Birds. This is right near the position where Malcolm Lee came up with a pick on his own goal line earlier in the game. This time the handoff to Stewart, battling up the middle. UBC there to meet him after a minimal gain, maybe a gain of about 3.
Yeah, the big man, Connor Griffiths, back in the game, appears to be well in on that tackle for the T-Birds.
And they need him there, big number 91. I'm not sure Elliot Graham, the outstanding rookie, has returned in the game. I don't think he's out there. So there has been some attrition here for the Birds. 2nd and 7 here for Sinagra. Looks to the end zone, has a man, and a flag is going to get thrown, and Maxwell's going to get called, and he didn't turn his head. He just drove straight into the receiver.
Yeah, bit of a parade there. All the flags coming out at the same time for, but yeah, definitely Maxwell. Pretty obvious penalty call. Pressure up front. Sinagra again doing his Michael O'Connor resemblance there. Stood in, floated that ball up, and that's going to move the ball down close for Calgary.
That's a rookie DB, converted DB against a veteran like Klukas. And you know what? Maxwell's the kind of guy, though, that'll learn from a mistake like that. He'll come back, and, the pride is there. And the way he's kind of taken on learning a new position like that, it's going to make him better. But what it ends up doing is putting Calgary on the doorstep. Here's Sinagra, and they are going to throw it for the touchdown, diving over.
Guess who? Jack McDonald, South Delta Sun Devil alumni, in for his first touchdown of the year. That's a great catch. Really smart play. They squirted McDonald out underneath, put Klukas over on Maxwell, ran off the corner, and McDonald comes out and gets a huge touchdown catch to get Calgary back in the game here in front of a lot of friends and family.
And great for McDonald, number 10, to make that catch. What a job by the former South Delta Sun Devil. Such a talent, and Calgary got a great one when they inked him and were able to get him to the foothills out of South Delta, out of Tawasin. The point after goes through, and we are tied here at 7. But a penalty-aided drive puts them right on the doorstep, and you can't keep messing with that with a guy like Sinagra and this talented Calgary offense.
Yeah, and you could almost see that one coming. When a coach sees Sinagra get a penalty on a guy like Maxwell, that's blatant. You know they're going to put that matchup is going to get tested again tonight. And they didn't wait at all. They went right back to it, ran Maxwell out of that corner position, and little under pattern by Jack McDonald, and Calgary's tied this game up.
Well, a nice crowd on hand here at Thunderbird Stadium as the sun sets. A beautiful scene here as a classic is slowly building here. 10:36 left to the half. Howard Samura, Brent Calvert, Canada West TV. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast across the country, around the world, wherever you may be watching. Thanks for joining us here from Vancouver, BC and Thunderbird Stadium. 3-1 UBC debuting those new black jerseys against Calgary, wearing the road whites with red pants and red helmets. Number 2 ranked in the country, and they will kick off here with DeFonte, number 45. This time it's going to be Alex Morrison, number 85, and the Alouettes draft pick drops it, picks it up at his own 5, out to the 10, out to the 15, and was on the verge of breaking it, but a nice tackle there.
Yeah, it looks like Joel Van Pelt on that special teams tackle. Interesting kickoff. That I don't know if you caught it, Howard, but that ball was helicoptering, turning this way, going through the air. Really hard catch, and Morrison had some problems with it, right? Instead of that usually spiral or end over end, when it's coming the other way, that's a tough catch to make.
And as we mentioned, he had it slip through his hands, picked it up quickly, and if not for that, may have broken that tackle at the 15. Either way, he gets it out to about the 17-yard line here, 1st and 10 for Michael O'Connor and company. UBC wanting an answer here before the half. O'Connor all kinds of time, finds a man, it's Kellogg. And he is making the reception just over the 20-yard line, probably make it about a 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6.
And number 2, Dean Leonard, in on the tackle there for the Dinos. A 5-yard gain. So, again, the key for UBC is not to panic. Look at those 5-yard chunks and wait to get that shot. As they've shown, they could be effective down the middle so far against Calgary.
Travell Pinto with a touchdown for UBC. McDonald for Calgary, and we're all knotted at 7. 2nd and 4 here for O'Connor. He's going to throw to the near sidelines. Has a man in Morrison, pushed out of bounds. And that will be a good catch for UBC. Out past the 30-yard line, the veteran, the senior from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. It's Alex Morrison.
Yeah, Lucician in on the tackle, and a little bit of Odell Beckham Jr. Crashing into the kicking net, which is surprisingly close to the sidelines.
It really
is.
They
have that out of the way there, and they've got some staff over there looking at it now. But good to see that Morrison walked away from that. Everyone's having a bit of a chuckle.
Big gain for UBC now as O'Connor quickly over the middle has Delorier. It's Delorier over midfield, and he's going to get dragged down on a great route at about the 53-yard line of the Dinos. The tackle there being made by Trishawn Abrahams-Webster. Wow.
Yeah, another sort of skiing tackle behind him. He's just dragging people down the field. The word that comes to mind seeing him play is grit. He's got some real determination getting the ball and really bringing some energy to the field tonight for the T-Birds.
His uncle Lou, the former head coach of these UBC Thunderbirds, now the co-head coach at Lord Tweedsmuir out in Surrey, Lou Delorier. There's a look for Kellogg, I believe it was. He's going to make the reception shy of the first down, but a nice chunk on first down there for these Birds who are building that rhythm you're talking about on offense. The tackle there made by Lecision.
Yeah, and you can see the rhythm starting to come. Both of these quarterbacks are starting to get in a groove, and we're going to see some great passing. And I predict we're going to see a pretty effective run bust loosed here very, very shortly for the T-Birds.
Well, UBC would love to establish that ground game. You're right, Brent. And 2nd and 4 at the 45-yard line. Out of the gun again, it's O'Connor. Quick pitch. And right up the middle to Noel, and boy, I tell you, a Calgary defender, Brent, had the hands right on that football, almost ripped him away from Sugar Shane Noel. But he's going to get the first down.
Yeah, it looked like number 7, Iguanabe was in there, and if not for Noel having to sort of look back and re-secure that ball. He had a lot of real estate to rip there.
He did. Shane Noel has been impressive, and great to see that because you know Ben Cummings is there. You know Corey Nagata as well, a guy who's played in some big football games here in the last year as well available. Here's Cummings this time. Ben up the middle, trying to power his way. Is going to be held short of the first down, make it about 2nd and 4.
Yeah, another tackle by
Iwanabe.
Yeah,
with another tackle.
Yeah, good hard tackling in there from that defensive secondary position, linebacker position.
So if you're Orazetti, what are you thinking here on 2nd and 5 at about the 31-yard line?
Yeah, just on the edge of field goal range, so you can get a little bit creative here. Likely going to see a pass.
Cummings is in the backfield to fake the handoff quickly. Off the hands of Marcus Brown, the rookie out of Holy Cross. Number 86, his first target of the game.
Yeah, just a concentration. He broke that pattern in, and no pressure, wide open. Just a little bit of rust, I guess. We haven't seen him on any other action or passes here in the game, and the first one can be tricky sometimes.
Well, as you say, just out of field goal range, but they're going to try one here. Is this about
about 39 yards? It looks like. I think that's within Hutchins' range.
Hutchins certainly can make this one. He's hit some big ones here for UBC. Snap to Kellogg, it's down, and it is good for UBC. They'll take a 10-7 lead. As we head to a TV timeout, we'll be watching a video with Diego El Torre, the UBC Thunderbirds, a great product out of Mexico.
All right, welcome back, fans. Back after that break. And Calgary's getting the ball. They're set up at the 35-yard line after that field goal by Hutchins, and a 10-7 lead for UBC.
We know there's some fireworks obviously capable from this Calgary offense, but we haven't seen a lot of huge plays, but they're right where they want to be in terms of what they want to do by halftime. We'll see if Calgary can put together their biggest drive of the game right here, starting at their own 35. This time a handoff to about the 40-yard line. And again, a nice determined run there by Robert Stewart. I believe it was number 30 again.
Katsantonis coming in. They're banging pads, banging helmets, banging everything in there.
Katsantonis, 18, out of Bakersfield, California. Not getting all those interceptions. We talked to him last game after the Saskatchewan game, and quarterbacks just aren't throwing the ball his way.
Yeah.
Here come the Dinos again. Sinagra looks downfield, evades the pressure, stays on his feet, tucks it, and is going to go to the sideline, going to get taken down at about the 44-yard line. I believe he'll be short of the first down. He was not going to slide. He saw the sticks, and he knew where he had to get to. The tackle being made there by Zaichley.
Yeah, and that was Connor Griffiths was had him around the ankles, and Sinagra got out of that grasp. And,
Well, they're going to give him the first down. We couldn't see exactly where he went out of bounds, right in front of the Calgary bench, Brent. So hard to know, but they give Calgary a generous spot at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, good effective run by Sinagra, right? Anything to move those chains.
Yeah, he's willing to pay the price there. So Calgary first and 10 at their own 45. Sinagra this time the handoff, and met before he gets to the line of scrimmage. And Stewart again. Griffiths, number 91. Griffiths has come in supercharged after that injury. He is man-possessed, number 91, making some great plays on the field for that UBC defense.
Yeah. And Dante Vigini's really getting into a battle down there. He's taking his time with the Calgary linemen, and it's nonstop action until the refs are coming in and pushing them apart. So emotions running high down in the gauntlet. Well,
you know what? You're right about the play between the two lines right now, and you're getting some playoff atmosphere here in the 5th week of the season. Here's Sinagra. Looks downfield. Oh!
Whoa. What a pass.
And Carl there.
That's threading the needle in
wow.
there. That was tiptoe on the sidelines play by Carl. Great concentration, looking after staying in bounds and making that catch.
Yeah, and he threaded it through the UBC defense there. And number 47, Evan Horton, had his hands up. I thought it was going to get a tip on that ball, but Hunter Carl able to get to his spot on the sidelines and make a tough catch for a first down into UBC territory. Here's Sinagra being flushed, and he's going to run to the far sidelines looking for a man down the field. Puts it up in the air, and is shy of finding Carl, who is sliding down at about the UBC 35-yard line.
That's the kind of play that gives coaches gray hair. Great hustle by Sinagra. We saw that earlier on the pick down at the goal line, making the first part of the play great. He got loose, he got out. Safe, easy play, just run out of bounds, throw it down the field. But choosing to throw that ball a little bit back into the middle, generally ill-advised. And I think he's lucky that that ball fluttered a little bit, because there was more UBC players around Carl than I think people would be comfortable with.
Well, there is a Calgary player down on the field. We're not too sure who it is, but the training staff out to tend to him right now. UBC doing a good job with that front seven penetrating and really making life tough for Sinagra in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, and that's been a really enjoyable battle to watch here. I mean, UBC, it's like almost like a siege, like Lord of the Rings, where they're sieging the front door of the castle, and they're coming in harder and harder and harder. And that's going to break down as the game goes on, and they're really starting to get some pressure, and they're forcing Sinagra out of the pocket, which is a good sign for UBC.
Well, that Calgary offensive line has to maybe do a reboot on its protection there. They are unable to give Sinagra the time he wants to make things happen.
And that's who's down. It's one of the big boys up front on that Calgary O-line is the player that is down.
Interesting. They are giving a lot of snaps there. Well, I guess no, they are actually, I was just watching Josiah Joseph, number 1, the backup quarterback, taking a ton of snaps there on the sideline, thinking perhaps there would be some, perhaps a change at quarterback. I don't know if Wayne Harris is considering that, but just watching Joseph taking those snaps. Still attending to that Calgary player.
Yeah, they've got both training staffs out here, so it's got a little bit of concern on the sidelines here.
Well, all our best out to whoever that may be. We still can't see the number. I wouldn't want to hazard a guess here at this point.
And then we're just mentioning the battle that's going on in there. There's some ferocious hitting, and you're seeing it. I was quite impressed with that Calgary line through the first quarter. They were really stout and holding up, and it is starting to break down a little bit in the middle now, forcing Sinagra out on that run. But wouldn't be surprised here. We saw Klukas get set up on Maxwell, and that bore some good fruit for Calgary. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them take a shot here with time winding down in the second quarter, and UBC enjoying a 3-point lead, 10-7 right now.
Yeah, a nice field goal there, a 40-yarder by Hutchins. Let's put UBC in front 10-7. Of course, Michael O'Connor to Travell Pinto to open the scoring here.
We've got another video coming up, Howard, from the team.
And we'll take a look at that video and be back with more here from Thunderbird Stadium in just a moment.
Let's go, quicker. Shuffle your feet. Up, down. Are TV feet up? Yeah, they are. Did you want the score? It's a game that's based on discipline, mental toughness, physical preparation.
It feels like babies.
Sonia Beeksma, she's a dancer. I'm gonna call her Sweet Feet.
Very petite, good, good. Accelerate through, good.
Carrie brings glamour, of course, and you know, she brings that tenacity.
Yes! Mark, a lot of people think he's slow just because he's maybe, you know, the oldest one out of all of us. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people how quick he is.
I think Jason's going to do well because he's fairly athletic all around,
Foot speed, foot speed, foot speed.
probably pretty fast.
Oh!
I think that he could do really well.
Hard, let's go, push, keep it straight.
The way we function on the morning show kind of speaks for itself. You know, we've got this like natural rhythm.
I would play on this team any day of the week. I like this team. Let's go, Teresa! We're super cohesive and tight.
Hey, good job, good job. It's the ultimate team game. Everyone needs to be on the same path if you want success. For CTV Morning Live, this is Blake Nils signing off from Thunderbird Stadium.
And we're back with you at Thunderbird Stadium. Howard Samura, Brent Calvert, Canada West TV. And obviously concern from both sides here as a Calgary player still down right at midfield as trainers and staff from both teams out to tend to the injured player.
Yeah, one of the offensive linemen here, they've got both training staffs and coaching people around.
Certainly they want to be cautious, so they're going to take whatever time they need here. And our best going out to the...
Yeah, they've got helmets and shoulder pads off, just keeping the players stabilized, and we'll definitely let you know the number as soon as we see fit here. So,
and didn't really see it happen.
No.
We
just seen some hitting in there, and again, this is a moment when the game changes here, and everyone definitely watching is just feeling the concern for the safety and welfare of this player right now.
Well put, Brent. 4:24 before the half here. Talked about a real physical tone to this game, and it's if it's been a bit of a playoff type of an atmosphere, it's still been in the spirit of like a nice clean game. I wouldn't say it's gone over the line in terms of that. These two teams have gone in at the highest level in Canadian university football over the past number of years.
Yeah, I think with both these coaching staffs, you'd be hard-pressed to have a dirty player out on the field. Certainly the emotions were running high. People were getting into some conversations and things, but no reflection at all. This has been a well-played football game from both squads. And again, what will be interesting is coming off of this injury time, they've got a little bit of time with players to make some adjustments. You see players keeping themselves loose, throwing the ball, doing some keep warm exercises on the sidelines while we're waiting for the situation to resolve.
It has been an extended break, and you're right about that, Brent. These players are trying to stay within themselves here to get ready to play.
And the good news I can see now, they're doing the test. We've got leg mobility, we've got hand mobility. Those are all the things you want to look for first in this situation. So here's the players alert and talking to the coaching staff, and they're just, again, as you said, Howard, being super cautious and going through the protocols.
Well, we appreciate your insights as a football coach, a football parent, and someone who is so tied to the game at the youth level in this province, and that's good to know that that process is happening here for the Calgary player at midfield.
Yeah, and lots of concern with concussions. I mean, everyone knows that associated with football. It's actually an issue for all of sports, but you're seeing technology creep in inside of equipment. You're seeing lots of different neuro testing going on and ways to evaluate players pre and post concussion, and that health and welfare of the athlete is paramount. I think at most levels of sports, they're just concerned with all that. And again, it's player safety, game number one here.
So we can let you know the scoring in this game has gone 7-0 for UBC on a pass from Michael O'Connor to Travell Pinto. Calgary able to answer back with quarterback Adam Sinagra to Klukas in the end zone for a touchdown, and then a field goal by Hutchins. It looks like they are going to call this game at the half here. That looks like what's happening here. Both teams are leaving the field. With 4:24, it looks like we're going to pick this up, Brent, and tack this time on to the start of the third quarter.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll veer over to our production team and ask if they want to hang here or if we want to. We're just waiting for some direction here from our production staff. So we will throw it to the half here. It looks like the additional 4:24, Brent's going to be added to the third quarter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I think they will tend to the player on the field. We'll leave you now and be back with the second half in a few moments after our halftime break here from Thunderbird Stadium. The score, UBC 10, Calgary 7. And we're back with you here at Thunderbird Stadium. Howard Samura soon to be joined by Brent Calvert, our analyst here on Canada West TV. And the team's taken to the field now. We'll have an extended third quarter. It's going to include the final 4:24 of that opening half. And just being told, the injured Calgary player who was helped off the field is number 56, Spencer Roy, an offensive lineman. Second-year art student out of Calgary, Alberta, Notre Dame product there. And we wish the best to him for a speedy recovery. Certainly kudos to the training staffs of both these teams who pulled together and made absolutely sure they were putting the player first. And I think a good move, Brent, to go to that early break.
Yeah, definitely. And so great to see him right after we went to the break, up on his feet, and a real nice touching thing here from the crowd. Great round of applause, genuine cheering, because at that point it's just player safety that you're concerned about.
So the team's now getting focused on getting back on the field here as they go through their warm-ups for the start of the second half. The treated to a show of fire here. I thought we were going to see more fire in the opening half of play. It's 10-7, but I'm a satisfied football fan from that perspective still.
Yeah, you get used to these high-scoring games in Canada, but stateside, looking at a game like this at the half, that's kind of a common thing. But people come generally are looking to watch some offensive fireworks and things like that. But when you take a defensive standout like this and think these two groups have been playing some great defense in the first half, really great to see.
Looking at some of the numbers from that opening half of play, and will not include the final 4:24, obviously, of the second quarter, so it's not a full two quarters of play, but total offensive yards in that opening half. Calgary 31 plays for 178 yards, UBC 23 for 189, so pretty even there. Rushing yards, Calgary was 71 yards on 16 carries, UBC 6 for 39 yards. And the passing yards, UBC with an edge 150 yards to 107 yards. And we talked about the turnovers being key for Calgary, two of them in that opening half. One leads to a UBC touchdown. The other clearly takes a Calgary touchdown away right on the goal line, that interception by the Birds.
That's right, yep. And that's football, right? Those turnovers are so critical. And we'll see how these teams both respond after this half. You think that Calgary would come out with a bit of an emotional lift, knowing that their injured player is okay, and a little bit of a score to settle up here with UBC on the home turf, and protecting that first place position that they've held so far in Canada West this season.
Well, Matthew Lucian, the leading tackler for Calgary in the first half with 5 tackles, and Cyril Iwanabe with 3 of them there. Mika Teets with 3 as well. Leading the way for UBC, Will Maxwell with 5, Jean Ventos with 4, Tanner Friesen with 3, and a host of others with 2 tackles.
Yeah, lots of production out of that defensive backfield, even a little bit more than what you'd expect to see out of the linebacker group. But I don't think a real strong first half of rushing for either team.
Exactly, and you know what, you could even say the same just in terms of these two very capable quarterbacks going out there and really lighting up this night sky here at Thunderbird Stadium. We didn't see any of that yet. I think we saw restraint, we saw great defense on both teams, and you know what, I think this sets up for just a tremendous second half.
Yeah, a little bit of an extended second half, and we were just talking before the injury came around that the quarterbacks just seem to be starting to get into the groove and starting to get that rhythm established. Now we've been away for 20 to 30 minutes, and can they get that reestablished quickly enough here, or is it going to take another quarter of development to build that up?
So UBC will start with that 10-7 lead. Of course, the 40-yard field goal by Hutchins putting the Birds atop 10-7 after touchdown by each team. We're ready to get underway here in the second half of play, and it's Sinagra. He is feeling the pressure from UBC, but stands in there. Finds, I believe that's Antwi across the 50-yard line. Well, check that, it's not. It's number 89 for those Calgary Dinos, and that's Richard Sindani.
Yeah, and just another ferocious hit out of Friesen from that position.
You love the way that kid plays.
Holy cow. Like, he laid the lumber down. Mouth guard came flying out on that play, and I thought, oh no, we're going to have another injured player. on that team. So good on the Calgary receiver. Tough guy to get up after that big hit.
Of course, they're going to go right to the downs and right to the field position when the injury happened. And so this is now 3rd and long. So the Dinos will punt it away. That's Ben Cummings now back to, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not. It's Katsantonis, number 18. But he will not get close to that punt, and UBC will take over inside their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the ball's down about the 13-yard line. Bit of a coffin corner kick almost for Calgary, and that creates a long field situation here with about 3.5, just a little over 3.5 minutes left in this.
They're calling the second quarter still, yeah.
Quarter,
they certainly have to play it that way. DeFonte with a nice kick there to pin the Birds deep in their own end. So UBC now, after an extended break, finally back into the offensive mode, and the quarterback Michael O'Connor was, Brent said, wanting to get into get some momentum built in. We'll see what happens here as the ball is snapped. A low snap. O'Connor recovers it, puts it up, and he's got a man downfield. It's Delorier. He can't get it. The coverage there by Lawrence, I believe.
Yeah, that was Lawrence on the coverage, and not the prettiest ball from O'Connor coming off that extended break, but the cat and mouse game continues, right? There's Cummings was in the backfield, if I'm not mistaken, on that play, and so Shane Noel, Nagata, it's like there's really no rhyme or reason to this, and maybe that's bamboozling Calgary a little bit with some of these positional
May well
changes.
be the case, and they've targeted Delorier a number of times in this game wearing number 7. And again, Cummings is in the backfield. Ooh, it looks like Trey Kellogg going offside there. Or maybe I'm mistaken.
No, I think you got that right.
But really out of sync with the rest of that offense, just charging.
Yeah, low snap on that first play. O'Connor a little bit off on the pass. Mental error here, jumping offside. And that's the rest you get when you take an extended halftime break and get out of sync.
So 2nd and 15 now. O'Connor prepared to take this snap out of the gun, but just inside his own end zone, stepping now into the end zone, finds Pinto. Travell with the football, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage there, and I think it's going to be held short. So UBC in some tough waters here are going to have to kick it away on 3rd down, and Calgary in a dangerous position here to do some damage as Leonard, number 2, is back to return this punt.
Yeah, Lorenz in on that tackle. He was pulling him back for every inch that he could restrain him. But be interesting here. This is the position where you look. I don't think UBC's in a position to give up a safety here at this point. I'd be surprised if they did. But,
low-scoring game with a 3-point lead. You're right about that. At 2:35 here left in the second quarter.
Lots of discussion taking place in the huddle here. A little bit of confusion about what the game plan seems to be.
So Hutchins is going to go back about 4 yards deep in his own end zone to receive this snap. He has it. He will take a knee and will concede in the end zone. So Calgary pulling to within a point, but boy, I guess they want to play the field position game here. And
yeah, puzzling. I think the way the defenses have been playing, and Hutchins has been booting, I'm a bit surprised by that call, but
well, a vaunted Calgary offense. You're right, Brent, with 1 touchdown in this game, and we're almost at two quarters of play.
Yeah, and you're handing the ball right back to him at this point. I guess I'm a bit more of a gambler. I'd boot it and put some pressure on the defense to step up.
So Calgary 1st and 10 at its own 35-yard line. Adam Sinagra, the quarterback. And he's got Antwi in the backfield, a host of receivers, and here goes Calgary, pulling to within 1 and wanting to take a lead here with this possession. Handoff, Antwi barrels up the middle of the field. and is going to get the first down as he crosses the 45-yard line.
Yep, and the name we've been calling all night, again in on that tackle,
Tanner Friesen.
Yep.
So number 45 has been a huge presence for UBC.
Getting in, getting really low on that. His tackling, just tremendous. He's sure-handed, sure-footed, really playing with a great edge tonight.
We're number 40 at the middle linebacker spot for UBC. We'll see what happens here as Calgary now 1st and 10 at their own 45. Snagger a quick out to the far sideline, and I think the catch is good past the first down sticks. And making the catch there is Klukas, Michael Klukas, a clutch catch there.
And if you get to watch the replay at home, have a look at Blake Nill on the sideline. He slips in right behind. There he comes in. He's right in the ref's ear. And if you ever seen him light it up, you'll know that exchange is not for the family broadcast.
Well, Calgary has been a football family here with their steady play to start the play after the break. This time it's going to be Antwi, though, and a great job by the Birds defensively. I'm not sure who that was, if it was Connor Griffiths or it was Friesen again.
Yeah, Hladik, I think, got in there on that play as well, number 52. So
Ben Hladik, the freshman out of Vernon Secondary. Of course, the big fumble recovery off the strip by Katsantonis led to the UBC touchdown in the opening half of play.
Yeah, strong play from that T-Bird defense.
2nd and 11 after the big stop by Hladik. Calgary right at the midfield stripe as they look downfield, have a man, can't stretch out and make that catch on the near sidelines. Our view obscured by those Thunderbird tents on the near sideline.
That's Klukas. But UBC made an adjustment there. They've got a different defensive back on him. That's number 16, Peyton Lagrange, who was manned up on Klukas.
I think that was Hunter Carl, actually, 86.
Ah, okay, yeah, you're right.
But either way, you're right about that. And 3rd down, a punt here and an opportunity for the Birds to get some of those points back. Awaiting that punt again, I believe, is Katsantonis. Takes it at his own 5. Boy, great downfield coverage. Calgary got down there in a hurry, Brent.
Wow. Mika Tietz again, number 42, in on that solid tackle on the sideline by Katsantonis.
Certainly, Katsantonis wanted to try and get in a position where he could make some people miss. Couldn't do it, and just a wave of Calgary tacklers in there.
And again, good, strong defense. UBC's back in that same position after giving up the safety. And sort of a 4-and-out for Calgary on those plays. So
Calgary pull into within 1, but UBC again, see what they can do in terms of maybe getting a big play here on offense. They're certainly going to need something to get out of the end zone. Cross the middle, Pinto couldn't hold on to the football.
Yeah, bit of a high placement there by O'Connor. You want to see that ball down a little bit lower on the slant, but good thing for Pinto to knock it down because the linebacker was patrolling in behind him, and that could have been a disastrous pick if that occurred down there for T-Birds.
And Jack Burns, number 28 there on the coverage. So UBC now 2nd and 10. They're from their own 11-yard line here. Michael O'Connor, just like Sinagra, their numbers down in this opening half of play. It's a handoff to Noel. Shane battling, and a host of dinos will meet him and keep him shy of the 20-yard line. It's going to bring it 3rd and about 4 yards.
Yeah, Joel Van Pelt in leading that gang tackling for the Dinos.
Well, it's a compliment to both these defenses, and Brent's been talking about it the whole night. Other than the turnovers, really, these teams not giving up the big play. The defense is staying consistent. And UBC quickly having to punt. A lot of 2-and-outs here. As we resume play after the injury with 55 seconds left. If you're just joining us, we'll play this 55 seconds out and end the second quarter and go straight into the third quarter. These two teams, if you're joining us late, have already had their halftime. And that was brought on by an injury to a Calgary player, extended, who was injured at midfield and helped off the field.
Yeah, I think a smart play here by Calgary. They probably got the timeouts left from the first half, and 55 seconds. Make sure your guys know. Try to set up a bit of a return on this punt. if you can get back within field goal range, which is very doable here, they're going to have enough time to at least get a field goal shot, I think, off this drive.
Exactly. Dion Leonard, number 2, is awaiting the kick. He's lined up at about his own 50-yard line. Hutchins, a busy man here, wearing number 10 for the Birds. The kicker and the punter has been, as with DeFonte, very busy here today. Snap and the kick. It's a short kick. It's going to take a nice UBC bounce, though, and get to midfield. Oh, and that is a live ball. Number 20 for the Birds was right there trying to pounce on it. Corey Nagata on special teams, the running back, because Leonard kind of fumbled it there for a second.
Yikes. The definitely thing you don't want. Don't touch it unless you're 100% secure, but probably trying to do a little bit too much, right? Pick it up and go, and your brain goes a little bit faster than your muscles do sometimes.
Well, the Dinos with 44 seconds here. They've got some good field position. They have the most vaunted offense in the conference.
That's good. And they had thrown a flag on contact and picked it up. I think the ref who threw the flag hadn't seen the contact, and after the little conference, they've got it straightened out.
Snap to Sinagra. He looks at it, it's batted down. A great play there by the Birds on defense. And number 33, Brad Friesen, in there to knock that down.
Yeah, almost a mirror image of what we saw earlier with O'Connor getting ball batted down from the linebacker position. Not the end of the world. This is going to stop the clock. They can get reset here, and probably looking at wanting to get. They're definitely going to probably need about 20 to 25 yards here for a field goal shot.
Well, Klukas goes to the high side of the field, just 3 seconds off the clock on that play. 40 seconds left. Here's Sinagra, goes down the middle of the field, has a man, can't get it. Oh, a close play, almost picked off by the Birds. Number 16 was in there, and that was Peyton LaGrange, the freshman.
Yeah, came right, very reminiscent of O'Connor's pass, right down the middle on that post pattern, and went through a set of hands and hit LaGrange right in the chest plate and bounced out. And now UBC gets to take that shot at potential return here and giving Hutchins a shot at a field goal for sure.
A bat down by Friesen, and a nice job there by Peyton LaGrange to almost pick off the pass, and the Dinos will punt it away with 35 seconds left in this first half of play. That is a nice kick. It's going to keep Delorier, I believe that was, from getting started. He's going to go out of bounds at about the 25 or 26 yard line.
Yeah, smart kick. Use the sidelines. And we'll see what UBC's got here. If they're content to run out the quarter or take a shot.
Well, 10-9, a 1-point lead here for UBC, and it's certainly not it is certainly within UBC's offensive potential to make something happen here with a big play.
Think about an Alex Morrison in this situation. Such a great long strider and has got that height to go
has
up.
Made big plays. In the Regina game to open the year, I believe it was, made some big plays on long throws down the field.
Looks like we got a UBC penalty tapped onto the end of that.
Well, the Birds not helping their own cause here, so O'Connor getting pushed back to about his own 15 or 16 yard line, let's call it. So 1st and 10 from the 16. And 27 ticks left on the first half clock. O'Connor takes the snap, the handoff to Shane Noel. He dances in the hole, finds a little seam, keeps those feet moving. A nice run there by Noel out to about the 24-yard line. It's going to bring up about a 2nd and 2 or 3. But very manageable here for UBC. 20 seconds left, though, in the half.
And the clock's going to start on the reset here, so...
and here we go again.
Got to be ready after those running plays to go quick, because going to burn off 5 or...
Well, the clock's down to 10 seconds.
They're just going to take
They're just going to take a knee now. And that may have been the UBC plan all along.
Yep, O'Connor watched that tick all the way down safely, and they're content to get out of the modified second quarter.
So UBC received the opening kick, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
so
right.
Calgary will have the ball when we start the third quarter. They put 3-minute break on the clock here.
Yeah.
It really extends the evening. It feels like a long football game at this point, especially with the lack of offensive fireworks.
And it does, and that's why that puzzled me that UBC on those 2 shots wouldn't have attempted to go for it, because you know you're going to be turning the ball over to Calgary on this kickoff. And at the end of the season, you might look back on these games and say, gee, I wish I'd been a little bit more aggressive maybe in the play calling. But anyway, very entertaining game. Really respectful defensive game tonight. Lots of talent on display for both sides on the defensive side of the ball.
And let's just refresh the listeners, the viewers. Calgary 4-0 coming into this game with a plus-minus of 131. UBC 3-1 with a plus of 39. Even the plus 39 is impressive in this Canada West, but the 131 is ridiculous.
Yeah, so you would, on the defensive side of the ball, you'd be looking at this and saying, we come out of the first half, we've got Calgary held to 9 points. We'll definitely take that.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brenda. It's been a great job by the UBC defense. I think the concern, if you're a UBC fan, was what if this Calgary offense comes to town and just lights up the Birds in the opening half of this football game. There's not an easy kind of team to play catch up against, but to UBC's credit, they have done a fantastic job and actually own the lead here, 10-9.
Yeah, just looking at the full halftime stats here, 2 things that do jump up for me now is UBC's double the number of penalties. Not so much on the yardage, but 8 penalties. But where it really shows up is on first downs. Calgary's got 15 and UBC's only got 8. Wow. So you think about those penalties just might be the drive snuffing kind.
You're right about that. Yeah, UBC just had a torrent of penalties to open this Canada West campaign on the road in their loss to Regina. And clearly that was a time for Coach Nill and company to really bear down and get the message across. If they want to be a contender this year, they were going to have to clean that up, and they did that. But creeping back into it a little bit here tonight, as Brent lets you know, penalties getting in the way of UBC building their momentum.
For sure, and that's, again, just a discipline thing. At this point in the year, assignments should be worked out, and the jitter should be out enough that you can be playing a little more penalty-free football at this point.
So it's Leonard number 2 and Lawrence number 3 back to return the kickoff here from Hutchins, number 10 of the Birds. We haven't seen the big home run play in this game, and we know it's coming from one of these teams soon. We'll see what happens here as the UBC special teams get ready on their coverage unit here. Here comes the kickoff, and Hutchins will put it into play. It's going to be Lawrence. No, yes it is. Lawrence number 3 from about his own 5-yard line. Burning towards the far sideline is going to get upended on a great open field tackle there by the Birds.
Guess who it was? Number 40.
Tanner Friesen has been unbelievable for UBC in this football game.
I'm looking at the stat sheet here, and I'm going,
they don't credit tackles as freely as we might think.
Yeah, he's second on the team on the stats list, but there's no way.
I'm kind of like, how can that be? We're calling his name literally every time.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a night tonight.
Regardless of what the stats say, Friesen obviously has been a great force here on defense for Calgary, for UBC, but Calgary now 1st and 10 at their own 30. 10-9 deficit for the Dinos. Out past the 40-yard line and getting up a little slowly. For Calgary, number 19 making that reception. And that's Klukas, the tackle there from, I believe, Brad Friesen again.
Yeah.
So
we've got Brad and Tanner on the team. So that's the first time we call him Brad's name. But
Brad Friesen, you're right about that. So Calgary now with a handoff, and they're going to get close to their own 50, but not quite there.
Yeah, that was number 27 stepping up from the linebacker position, Zaishley. That tackle. So now we're starting to see a lot of those linebacker tackles coming up. I've seen with this running game sort of kicking in for Calgary at this point.
So Zaishley with a stop on Stewart, number 30. There's been a nice change of pace from Antwi in that Calgary backfield today. Sinagra looks downfield, feeling the pressure, and he is going to get sacked in the backfield. Well, did they get rid of the ball? What happened there? The quarterback was in the grasp.
He sure did. That was before he was down to the ground. He little sidearm shovel pass out. Heck of a play by Sinagra to get rid of that.
Got the ball to Stewart. I thought he was dead to right, so you're right, Brent. Great job there by number 12, and that Dino's quarterback gets the ball away, and Calgary makes something happen. They move the sticks, and that is a great play. They get right to the midfield stripe.
Yeah, totally athletic play, just keeping his eyes upfield under tremendous pressure.
Focusing on the task at hand, Adam Sinagra gets his team a first down. And this time a handoff for a gain of about 4 yards, and again, it's going to be Robert Stewart, this time breaking into Thunderbirds territory. So call that a gain of about 3 yards, and 2nd and 7.
And that was Griffiths and Vigini in on a team tackle there from the defensive line position.
So the big guys up front getting the stop there. But Calgary able to have a nice change of pace. Is there a Calgary penalty? And Calgary's been pretty disciplined here tonight, as you mentioned, Brent, but they are going to lose the yardage there and face a 2nd and 15. Or a 1st and 15, check that.
Yeah.
So a bit of a reset here and a bit of adversity for the Dinos. Sinagra looking to the sidelines. He's going down the field, has a man, and the catch is made downfield. Great grab there. And that's good. Looks like that was Justin Daziuk, number 88.
Yeah, in on Will Maxwell again. And just a little bit of an underthrown ball adjustment by Daziuk there to come back. You watch on the replay, he just sort of pulls up on his route.
But on a 1st and 15, that's a big play all the way down to the UBC 20-yard line. So Calgary knocking on the door here, trailing by 1 as we begin the 3rd quarter of play. Sinagra wants it all. He's going to the end zone, has a man. Touchdown, Dinos! And that's Klukas with a great catch at the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Klukas on coverage by number 19.
Ventos,
yeah. And just, again, a nice little pull-off right at the end of the route. You can see him just make a bit of adjustment. Gets a bit of separation, and that's all he needed.
You're right, Michael Klukas. That is the veteran factor there for the Dinos. What a huge catch, and the Dinos will take their first lead of the night here. 15-10 pending the extra point from DeFonte. It is through, and the Calgary Dinos now with a 16-10 lead here.
So correct me if I'm wrong, that was their first drive after the half.
That would have been, yes, their first drive after the half.
Yeah, and that's, you also got to factor that in. That second half, you automatically know you're going to get that ball, and as a team who's not getting the ball, you want to get every opportunity before that half ends to score. Combination of the safety, combination of an effective first drive, and Calgary's got the lead.
Exactly, chipping away in a low-scoring game to take the lead by 6 on a drive that took, 2:38 off the clock, their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. And there you saw Sinagra, very effective.
Yeah, and you called it. You said waiting for that big play, and again, as we saw earlier, you don't want to say picking upon, but going to Maxwell, who you mentioned has that inexperience at the defensive back position, that's bearing fruit for Calgary, and they're going to keep going there.
So the Dinos building some momentum here now. Their defense will get back on the field after they kick off here to the Thunderbirds. Pinto takes it at his own 1. Here comes Travell to the near sideline, the 20, the 30, Travell, Pinto breaking, a move up the middle, he's over the 40, Pinto, he's at midfield, Travell, he fumbled the football, he fumbled it, it looks like the Dinos have it. Oh my gosh, Travell Pinto was off to the races, and he has fumbled the football, recovered by number 45 of the Dinos, and that's Nico DeFonte, the kicker, I believe, who came through with the ball. I could be mistaken there.
I think when you watch back on the replay, you're going to see a tremendous hit by Boston Rowe.
Boston Rowe, number 24, but look at Pinto. A man in control as we look at the replay. He crosses the 30, cuts it inside. And as he breaks, we'll see where Boston Rowe comes. You're right about that, Brent. He lays the lumber on a nice low hit there to knock that ball loose.
Yeah.
And DeFonte on the coverage after kicking off is able to come up with the football.
Wow, just that moment.
Oh.
I mean, I don't even think Pinto saw Boston Rowe. He came in low on the player in front of Pinto, and that ball was not secured, and just an unexpected hit. What a play by Boston Rowe, man.
And what a change in momentum after going in for the touchdown, and Evan Horton getting up slowly and being helped off the field, number 47 for the Birds, but wow. You're right about that. From the safety to the touchdown drive and now getting it back on special teams.
Yeah, living the thrill of victory to the
Wow.
agony of defeat in within 20 yards. It was
Wasn't that something?
unbelievable transition. And a great opportunity for Calgary here. They had a very effective drive. If they can get up here, another score, that's going to put all kinds of pressure on UBC.
Oh, the Dinos ranked number 2 in the country, 4-0 in conference play, and this game here, a battle for first place in the Canada West. What a huge game. What are the stakes? They are a conference title. Here is a long ball. They're putting it up, and off the hands of the Calgary receiver at about the 15-yard line. These Calgary numbers are so hard to read, but that is that Klukas number?
That's number 19.
19, Klukas,
Yep,
indeed
Klukas.
it was.
Yeah, and that was 19 on cover.
Gene Ventos.
Yeah. And
So,
just
your thoughts about going for it? Why not? Why not
why
take
not?
the shot?
It's a free turnover. You see that all the time, and you just see that confidence building with Calgary. They're feeling the momentum shift their way.
Well, that ball deflected off the body of the Calgary player, Klukas. And this time a running play is going to get wrapped up. It's not going to go very far. And a good job there by UBC to force a punt.
Yeah, and that was Vigini, and he got a hold of that ankle, and he wasn't letting go of that for anything on that play. Great play by the defensive lineman.
Yeah, Vigini out of St. Thomas More, great play by him. And boy, the answer they needed after the fumble by Pinto. So they're going to get another chance here. And this time they won't put Pinto on the return team. They're going to put Delorier out there. But there's just no rhyme or reason to who the Birds are going to put out on the kick teams. They're putting so many different players out. Here's DeFonte, number 45. It's going to bounce in front of Delorier. No safe, fair catch there. He takes the football, gets wrapped up immediately just over the 20-yard line.
Yeah, no real setup for a return on anything like that on that particular play. Looked like 49. Don't have that player on the roster, but I got a little bit distracted on the sideline there.
The Calgary numbers are, in a sense, hard to read because when the uniforms get, the numbers get compacted.
Yeah.
And the 6s and the 8s and the 2s, they all look the same from our vantage. The television audience probably has a clearer view of that on the Canada West TV stream here, but our apologies to the Calgary fans for not getting you the numbers quick enough. Here's Ben Cummings taking a handoff. He's going to be met at the 25-yard line. The tackle there by number 7 of the Dinos, Cyril Iwanabe.
Wow, solid hits and tackling. I was saying I got a little bit distracted. Blake Nill had Brad Friesen over on the sidelines and looked like he was chewing him out for something pretty substantial after that last defensive stand. But UBC on the move.
UBC 2nd and 6 from their own 25-yard line, it looks like here. Here's O'Connor trying to thread a needle to Pinto, and did Travell hang on to the football?
Yeah.
Looks like he did, so a nice catch there by Pinto. Hard to see from our vantage point, but looked like an all-hands catch.
Yeah, unbelievable catch.
Boy, he couldn't leverage his body.
Yeah, it looked like another South Delta alum there, Blake Gow, in on the coverage. But what a catch by Pinto. That's unbelievable. I'd like to see that replay.
So Travell hauls it in for a first down, so 1st and 10 for the Birds just inside the their own 35-yard line. 9:38 left here in the third quarter. And the Birds want some big plays of their own. Here's O'Connor. Quick release, batted away, intended for Pinto, and Owanabe is, boy, he is beside himself. He had one there and thought, boy, I should have had that pick.
That's number 2, right? Third time lucky. He's knocked one down in the first half, came very close on the deflection
exactly,
there.
Yeah.
And, just getting a great drop. He's getting a really nice drop off the line and sort of getting into the sweet line of fire from O'Connor on these passes.
So the Calgary defense reading the UBC quarterback O'Connor very well there, forcing a 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. There's O'Connor. Another quick release. And it looks like that was intended for Trey Kellogg, but I don't know if Kellogg slipped on the route as he's breaking back towards the ball, but it falls in front of him. And the Birds will have to kick it away.
That's all due to Mika Tietz coming straight up the middle, unblocked, right in O'Connor's face, and delivered a pretty good blow on O'Connor.
So again, the influence of the Calgary linebacker paying some dividends here for the Dinos, who will get another shot with Lawrence. And of course, number 2, Dion Leonard back to receive. The Greg Hutchins punt. This one will be headed the way of Leonard. Fields it, slips at his own 35, and that's going to do it for him. He wanted to cut back and find a different edge to the return. So Calgary will take over at about their own 35, 36-yard line.
Yeah, chalk one up for the turf monster there. Got him by the shoelaces. What's interesting, we started at the top of the broadcast talking about the UBC offensive line and the blitzing from Calgary. And we hadn't really seen it starting to come, but there we saw UBC getting effective on Sinagra earlier, and now we're starting to see Calgary's blitz package really pick up and create some issues for the T-Birds.
Well, we'll see what that UBC defensive front can do here as Sinagra starts another drive. Antwi with a handoff up the middle, straight arm. The tackle there made by number 90. I believe that was Elliot Graham, indeed the freshman linebacker there to make the tackle.
Yeah, coming across, man, it's a clinic out here tonight on the tackling. It's a really hard-hitting game. Both of these teams are going to be wanting to hit the ice glass, I think, after this contest.
As they say, both defenses are on and doing a good job there as Graham forces a 2nd and 5 here. Sinagra to the far sidelines, has a man. I believe that's Carl as he works his way up the sidelines over the midfield stripe. Diving out of bounds.
Yeah, Brad Friesen in on the chase and just the push to get him out of bounds. But, yeah, UBC's, they were effective with the blitz package. They seem content to send their front 4 right now. And that's given Sinagra some time to start finding these receivers, especially on those flat outlet passes.
Well, you see McDonald, number 10, who's got the touchdown, the South Dallas Sun Devil product, now back onto the field wearing number 10 here. As part of this Calgary offense. Sinagra the handoff up the middle to Antwi. Weaves his way right up the middle, and Stavros Katsantonis, number 18 there to lead the defensive surge. But what a nice run there by Antwi. Looks like a gain of about 7 yards on first down. So Antwi, along with Robert Stewart, a nice 1-2 punch in that Calgary backfield. All night long here for the Dinos, who have a 6-point lead and the football, and they're into UBC territory. It's a handoff, Antwi this time to the near sideline. Tries to cut it back up, and the tackle there made by number 16, Peyton Lagrange of the UBC Thunderbirds. But they will move the sticks in that, I don't know, you can start to feel that steady momentum by that Calgary backfield really paying dividends for their offense.
Yeah, you're seeing in the confidence in the play calling, just everything's starting to work right now. And at some point in the game, the offense or the defense is going to dictate what's happening. And you're right, Howard. You can feel Calgary starting to take this over.
Antwi in the backfield. He will fake it, and they'll go to the near side of the field. A hurdling move there. And that again was Carl. Great move, athletic move to vault over a UBC tackler.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a combination of Tanner Friesen and Colton Zaichley both going low, and the Calgary receiver going into the high hurdles.
It looks like Hussein, number 50, being seen to by the UBC training staff. He takes a knee at about the 37-yard line. But this Calgary offense mixing it up and keeping UBC's defense on its toes.
Yeah, definitely guessing. We've seen this before at UBC, though. Calgary got down on the goal line, and then the great pick by Lee. So
see what that secondary has in store, but Klukas and Carl, 19 and 86 respectively, along with Stewart, number 30 out of the backfield, and Antwi, number 21, have been huge in terms of mixing up the plays here for the Dinos all night long. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line as the Dinos come up over the football. Sinagra, he's going to the end zone. He's got Klukas. Touchdown! Oh, he can't squeeze the football. He had it, and it came loose. And a huge break there for UBC. Coverage was right there, but that was Klukas' touchdown to score.
Oh, yeah. He had that in his hands, and definitely his ball, but Maxwell and Lee both in there, pawing away at the ball. That seems to be the theme of the night, is just keep battling.
We'll take a look at the replay here on Canada West TV, and no hesitation. Sinagra airs it out. Great delivery, and Klukas turns at the perfect time right in the breadbasket. This time the Dinos will elect for a shorter pass downfield. And that time they will go to number 89, Richard Sindani, and he makes a catch.
Yeah, got down quick. Smart play. And he's going to go back to that previous play and say Sinagra is getting some great play action fakes going now because that running game's working, and that's just buying him a lot of extra time back there to hit that deep ball.
Yeah, right about that. You can thank that offensive line, Stewart, and also Antwi for that happening. Here's Antwi with the ball up the middle. Breaks free, sheds the tackle, goes to the far sideline, wants the end zone, and we believe he's in. They indeed signal a touchdown for Antwi. And the Calgary Dinos assuming control here in the third quarter. 22-10 pending the extra point.
Yeah, such a game of momentum, and Calgary just, I think, fed off that opening third quarter drive, snuffed out UBC on that last drive, and they're back for their second major of the second half.
So here come the Dinos. This is the vaunted offense we were obviously expecting to see in the last few series here of this third quarter. Calgary getting its offensive act in gear. And now Nico DeFonte set to add the extra point on the hold of Carl. And it's up and through. So you look at the margin there, 13 points. It's a two-score game here, and UBC needs to find some offensive momentum here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, this is what's on the line in Canada West. The path out through this division, the last few years has been running through Calgary. And you want to get yourself in a position so that you're not in the basement coming into the playoffs for sure. And a big test here for UBC.
And it's interesting as well, Brent, because when we look at it, you know what? They've only got Calgary once. If you beat them and you're tied head-to-head, but you've got the win, you're in the driver's seat. Exactly. And that's why it's such a huge game. But it looks like, they were close, but it's starting to separate. It's 13 points, and UBC is in a bit of an offensive doldrums right now. They've got to find a way, from their perspective, to really get back, going on an offensive roll.
Yeah, we don't know what's happened in the Regina-Saskatchewan game, but if Regina comes away with a win in that game, they're going to be in a points position tied with UBC, but they're going to own that first win of the year, right? So it's...
You're right about that. UBC could drop to third place if Regina is able to come through with a victory here tonight. Just awaiting the start here as we see the UBC return team out on the field.
Got the Neil Diamond stretch going in the third quarter here.
So midway through the third quarter, 5:14 left in Calgary on the strength of back-to-back touchdowns and a safety with a 23-10 lead. They trailed 10-7 at the half, but it's been all Dinos here in the third quarter. UBC will send Travell Pinto And Alex Morrison, number 85, it looks like, back to return this kickoff from DeFonte, number 45. He'll boot it from his own 45. Short kick. Little razzle-dazzle in that UBC backfield. Pinto's got the football, and he's going to break it down the sidelines. Holds on to it this time, and he gets it up to about the 46-yard line. So Calgary goes with a short kick. I didn't even see who the UBC player was who caught the football, but they were able to get the football very quickly to Travell Pinto.
That was Liam Mahara on the catch. And I think you could see right away that Calgary knows the danger of kicking that ball to Pinto. But,
they would rather kick it short. Liam Mahara, the former Vancouver College Fighting Irish player, gets the ball to Pinto, and there we go. UBC, 1st and 10 with some quality field position at their own 46, and boy, they need to score from their perspective. They need an injection of offense. There's a handoff to Ben Cummings up the middle. Over the 50 and up towards the midfield stripe goes Cummings. Nice gain of about 5 or 6 yards for the Abbotsford native.
And again, we're seeing the carousel at running back, and I don't know. You be the judge. Is this the best thing? We see Noel one series, Cummings the next,
and the way Cummings has been going when he's been getting hot has been quite incredible. He carried UBC for huge stretches in the win against Saskatchewan. But maybe the health not fully there. We're not sure. Cummings again with the football over the middle. And he is going to be short, I believe, by about a yard. We'll have to see where they spotted here, Brent, but it looks like he's about 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I think UBC's got to be going for it at this point in the game.
Certainly they will.
Great battle between the 277s, Corey Robinson and Ryan Von End, going down in the trenches.
Von End's another South Delta product as well, I think.
Yeah,
so
he's
those Sun Devils everywhere here today.
Just really playing hard out there. And I think Roberts is the sack leader, if I'm not mistaken, for the Dinos.
And we know they're going for it because Cole Meyer, the Earl area product, will come in short yardage-wise as O'Connor chats with his backup quarterback on the sideline. As they measure this, it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah,
Michael O'Connor is going to stay in the... No, that is Cole Meyer. No, it's O'Connor, number 15. He remains in the football game.
I think that's a smart play at this point. Bringing somebody in off the bench who hasn't been involved in the game at all tonight. At this point in the game with the stakes.
I completely agree with you, yet it's happened throughout the year that Cole Meyer has come in these situations.
Yeah, well, he definitely was out there, but measurement allowed for a bit of a conference on it.
Sure, it did, yeah. And here comes O'Connor. And obviously he'll be right over center. Less than a yard to go. It's a handoff. And I think the Birds got it, but there is a flag on the field, on the far side of the field.
Yeah, it looks like a... Oh, geez. I don't know. I was going to say a generous spot, but they're going to have another measurement here.
I thought they had gotten it, but boy, that's a... And were you surprised that O'Connor didn't try to sneak it? Has that been is that an indictment of the size up front against Calgary, or what do you think?
I think it's just being safe with your quarterback, but there's still lots of time left in the season, and I think they just know how valuable he is to the team. They're not going to take that risk, but
I think they're going to be short.
I think they're short as well. Definitely short.
Wow, they literally are in the same place as the last measure.
Yeah.
I find that a little odd. I don't know about that spot.
Well, there was a bit of a bobble on the ball heading to the line, but I'll tell you, it's sort of a pet peeve for me is that usually the only time you're seeing a quarterback go under center is in that position. And it's kind of been something that's faded from the game at all levels, just going to the shotgun all the time. And, for me, I look at it and I'm going, you've got a lot more deception under center with play action and things like that. And you kind of give that up in these situations.
Interesting point, but a valid one here as Calgary takes over at midfield. They're going to go to Antwi. He's going to cut it back up the middle like he's done all game long. And you know what? He's going to be met by UBC tacklers, but not before he gains about 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, Brad Friesen in leading that tackling brigade.
Antwi, though, I love the way that kid runs, and he loves to plant the foot and cut it back inside. And he builds so much forward momentum over his first 3 or 4 strides. He's having a little bit of trouble getting off the field as number 21, so the Dinos trainer's out to see him.
Yeah, again, hard running, hard tackling going on, but it looks like Calgary's picked up potentially a holding penalty here.
Flag is on the field. Howard Simmer here with Brent Calvert, Canada West TV. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 23-10 Calgary, 3:21 left in the third quarter. And a lot at stake here, obviously, today. Calgary in their 5th game of the season looking to go 5-0 and really put themselves in the driver's seat in the Canada West regular season.
Yeah, we've got a UBC player down as well, number 91 again.
And that's Connor Griffiths again for the 2nd time.
Yeah, I think just, boy, you don't get those injury stats, but
yeah,
it's been a bit of a parade on all sides with that one sort of first half shortening injury, of course, which resolved hopefully in a very good way. Great to see the player making his way off the field, but just a testament to how hard hitting this game is tonight. Yeah, making his way off in his own power.
Well, Griffiths came back after the first injury, and he was the guy getting that penetration into the backfield before that injury brought about a bit of a hasty halftime here at Thunderbird Stadium. So our best to Griffiths. Hope he gets back. Hope he's okay. Dinos with the ball here, 1st and 10. And this time, they go back up the middle. The ball does come loose, but I think the runner was down in the gain. That's that change of pace to Robert Stewart. Number 30 for this Calgary football team.
He doesn't look like the fastest guy, but he's got those little shifty moves that are just allowing him to pick his way through.
Isn't that the beauty of this game? How effective players can be with different gifts, different skill sets, and you look at him, Stewart, you're right about that. He doesn't look like a speed burner, but he's a guy that dances through tackles. Sinagra out of the shotgun. About 2nd and 7 as he goes to the sideline, and that would be a first down if it's a catch. Indeed, it is.
At 19.
And that's Klukas again on the far sideline.
Not the prettiest balls coming out here tonight from Sinagra. It's sort of a bit of a duck with a tail feather on it getting over there, but
that's a great way to put it.
The timing's still there for him, and great catch on the sidelines by Klukas.
And you can hear the march of this Calgary team as they step up over center, over the football at the UBC 44-yard line. Sinagra this time, the short pass turns into a nice healthy gain and a first down for the Dinos.
Number 16 on the tackle for UBC. That's Lagrange again.
And that was Carl with the catch for the Dinos.
Seems to be all kinds of space here for these Calgary receivers. They're catching with none of the blackout effect in effect.
Yeah, you're right about that. They're finding those spots in the UBC defense. There's a handoff up the middle. I believe that's Stewart trying to bash his way through some bodies, and he keeps his feet going. The ball comes loose, but the Dinos, I believe, have it. And I believe that ball came loose and right into the hands of Alex Basilis, number 85. And we'll see it on the replay here.
I think you've got the Bandit is striking again on the rip here. There he is.
Stavros Katsantonis, number 18, as you see. Out of Bakersfield, California. So many INTs that they named him the Bakersfield Bandit. With that reputation and all-Canadian status, I think quarterbacks are avoiding him, but he is doing his best. Jarring the ball loose. Here's Sinagra again. Has a man heading to the sidelines, heading towards the end zone, trying to find his way through, and he will. And for the Calgary Dinos, Antwi will take that in for the touchdown. It's all Dinos here in the third quarter.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Mayweather Conor
McGregor
fight.
I'm not a fight fan, but
me neither. But you could see sort of the exhaustion set in, and I'm watching the tackling here for UBC now, and it's body contact without wraps. I can only imagine how exhausted these players are.
That is a great point. As Antwi would roll off the tackles on his way to the end zone, the extra point.
And all this hitting that we've been seeing and talking about tonight is definitely starting to take a toll, I think, on the UBC squad. And Calgary's still hanging in there, throwing the punches. And the clock is now starting to work on UBC. I mean, we've still got another couple of minutes here and a quarter of play to go. But UBC's playbook is shortening in terms of what they're going to have to go to and when they're going to have to go to it on this next possession.
You're right about that, but football can still be a simple game. Offensive line and you know what, a stable of running backs to establish a running game that everything else can play off of. And boy, Calgary has been able to do that here tonight, as you've seen on our broadcast, and they have done such a terrific job of mixing things up, and they've done a great job of bringing their backs out of the backfield as receivers too, as Antwi did there, to score the touchdown.
Yeah.
So Calgary now with Defonte getting set to kick off from the 45. UBC, it's go time for them as Morrison and Pinto are back to receive. Looks like they're going to kick it to Morrison. No, they're going to do the short kick again. And this time UBC down the sidelines to about the 46, and it's number 30, Liam Mahara.
Yeah, same guy they kicked to the last time we did the flip to Pinto, but
hey, they're getting the ball near midfield every time they touch it, and they're just unable to do anything here in the second half. There's Mahara, as you see on the replay.
Yeah, so this important series for UBC here. Get some momentum and mix, and it's see Cummings in the backfield.
Down by 20, 30-10 the score. UBC has not scored in the second half of play. Here's O'Connor, the quick pass to the sidelines to Delorier. And he's out of bounds at about his own 52-yard line.
Yeah, Adam Lorenz in on the sure tackle there.
Lorenz, what a terrific part of this Calgary team he is. Vital part of their defense. A guy who can do wonderful things with the ball in his hands as well on the return teams. O'Connor out of the gun. Morrison to the near side of the field wearing number 85. They'll go the other way. They'll go to Pinto on the far sideline. And Travell with a gain of about 3 yards on second down is going to come up short of the first down.
Yeah, it looks like the spot is going to be, 2 yards short, I would guess. A long 2 yards.
UBC hasn't helped itself, but I don't think they've gotten a lot of good spots today on the football. But a tough one there. They're going to have to, with 9 seconds left here in the third quarter, they step up as they're going to go for it.
It looks like I think they're kicking.
Oh, they are
Hutchins
kicking.
Is in, yeah.
So the final play of the third quarter, I thought UBC'd go for it here. Hutchins with a nice punt. He's going to drive the Dinos receiver back, or return man back to the 5-yard line in great coverage on the play there.
Yeah,
by UBC.
Yeah, Brad Friesen hustling down there and getting that tackle. You know, it's interesting. One of the things I remember about covering UBC last year is that we would see the occasional special teams wrinkle in a position like that where they would throw out of that position or run or do something creative, short snap, these kind of things. And it really hasn't been a factor. I know Morzetti's moved over to the offensive side of the ball as a coordinator this year, but it'd be nice to see UBC exploiting that part of the game a little bit more effectively.
Well, UBC has a big comeback. If they're going to come away with a victory here, they're going to have to get things going. Trailing by 20 heading into the final quarter of play. It's been all Calgary, that decisive third quarter for the Dinos.
Yeah, taking that opening drive and scoring, and they've just been successful on every drive since then. 3
touchdowns by Calgary in the third quarter. They trailed at the half to UBC. That maybe the point of the night made by Brent here is the attrition or the fatigue being felt by that UBC defense. Just unable to turn back the growing momentum of the Dinos here in the second half of play in Calgary with a healthy 30-10 lead.
Yeah, and we you can extrapolate from the first half. UBC with only 8 first downs, Calgary with 15. So there's a lot of 3-and-outs or short drives happening. The offense is not staying on the field long enough to give these defensive guys enough time to get rested. And then we're seeing people playing both sides of the ball at this point as well, which has got to be exhausting for some of those UBC T-Birds that are doing double duty.
And certainly the Calgary Dinos are feeling pretty healthy these days just in terms of their mental outlook on things, with a third quarter that really allowed their offense to break out of the doldrums they experienced in the first half of play. That 20-point lead in the run game has been so key for Calgary.
And you've got to think a little bit defensively, too, here. We looked at the schedule earlier, and Calgary's got both Alberta and Manitoba, I believe, coming up for them, which are probably 2 what you'd call easier-looking games on the schedule, potentially, for Calgary.
And they've also got a Regina team on the road they've already beaten by 20 points. So things looking good for Wayne Harris and company here as they get set to open the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Sinagra, the quick release. Short gain of about 4 yards.
I think that was Carl on the reception. Yeah, again, in lots of space, but going down to his knees, killing that play effectively on the catch. So
it looks like 2nd and a long 5 here for Sinagra. This time over the middle, has a man. Nice balance shown there by Carl as he stretches out.
yeah, really good athletic move, sort of up and back real quick there. UBC's content to send a 3 or 4 man rush, and I don't know, I think Sinagra's the type of cue that once he's picking that up, if you don't blitz him every once in a while, he's going to go back there and take advantage of all that time he's getting.
Well, he's finding sure-handed receivers in the short passing game. And 1st and 10 again for the Dinos. This time a quick pass to the sidelines, has a man and a completion. And some nice running after the play down to about the 39-yard line. And I'm just hearing Parker Simpson's name, the Kelowna Owl, for the tackle there for UBC.
Yeah, another new name in that defensive backfield that we're going to be calling a lot more in the future, but he's entered the game at this point.
Wearing number 23, he may actually play basketball and football for this Thunderbird team in the same season. Hard yards there for Robert Stewart. But really this short passing game, the damage being done.
Yeah. Short passing, nice little runs. I think Calgary's really got UBC guessing what's going on at this point.
Well, Manitoba brought in a nice short passing game, and on one game we did here, and I remember they brought Parker Simpson in at that point too, and really were able to shut that down. And so I think clearly Pat Tracy and company, the defensive coordinator, sensing that happening here and trying to shut that down. And there is Simpson again on the near sidelines, coming in to try and make a tackle there. And the pass to Stewart is incomplete.
Yeah, and that was Parker Simpson.
So he's
breaking
effective
up that pass
in just the ways that we described in that Manitoba game. There he comes again.
Yeah, 3 plays in.
So number 23,
yeah,
coming out of the bullpen, so to speak, in terms of that short yardage game and coverage.
Yeah, and great size, a good combination of size and speed, effective at that defensive back position.
So DeFonte on to kick. It looks like Trey Kellogg, number 21, is back there, along with Stavros Katsantonis. There's an interesting pair. Wide receiver and a safety back in that part of that return group. There's the kick. It's going to go to Kellogg. He backpedals down to his 20. Trey wants to cut it back up, but he's going to be met here by the Dinos and driven back.
Yeah, love seeing that tackle. That's Charlie Moore, another product out of South Delta.
Wow,
there's
they're
a lot
everywhere.
of them on this
They're
Calgary team.
everywhere.
And Charlie's in his second year, redshirted last year, and really great to see him get in on that special teams tackle.
Well, you talked about the BC flavor on this Calgary team. It's actually a South Delta flavor on this Calgary team.
Yeah, there's a great dose of BC, but there's a heavy dose of South Delta within that. And Blake Gow, Jack McDonald, Charlie Moore, right, calling them all out tonight.
Wow. And McDonald with a touchdown, the opening touchdown for Calgary, a big one for this Dinos team. So here come the Birds. Again, deep. O'Connor with one of his longest passes of the night, nowhere near Pinto. Calgary bracketing Pinto with 3 defenders down the field. I don't know if that played into how O'Connor delivered the football. But the big shot on first down brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. UBC down to its final 12 minutes to go here, trailing by 20 points. 20 points and the prize at first place in the conference. Here's O'Connor, feels the pressure. That time looking for Delorier through his hands. The coverage there by number 23, Nathan Mitchell.
And you can almost see the difference on these last two drives. Calgary on offense, UBC's content to send 3 or 4, no pressure. Sinagra's nice and clean, getting time to get the passes off. In that second long situation, Calgary brings the blitz, and they're getting the licks in on O'Connor and forcing those passes out early and effectively snuffing out drives. And we've seen it all the way through the first half now.
And it's interesting because the first 2 years Blake's been here, he's played Calgary early in the season and gotten beaten badly.
Yeah.
And they've had the rest of the season to kind of pull it in. But this time they won regular season meeting with Calgary. It comes in week 5 before the break. And it's a tough one here as the Birds have to punt it away. Hutchins with a nice punt. He's going to drive the Dinos back to their own 30-yard line. What a great kick there. And Deion Leonard is doing his best to recover some of that kick, but a great kick there by Hutchins.
Yeah, Isaiah Joseph hustling down for the tackle for UBC. Yeah, and you mentioned the upcoming break right across Canada West and all of U Sports for the Thanksgiving holiday. But
it's interesting, you know what? That break is coming, and I'm sorry to shut the Calgary audience out of this, but the big talk here is when could they play a Schrumble? You know, look at it, it's hard. I mean, would they play on their off week at this crucial time of the season against a Clan team, Simon Fraser, which they'd effectively have to have a bye built into their season, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Here we go. I think that hit the ground as it was thrown there to number 88, Justin Daziuk.
Yep. Working on Parker Simpson over there, right in position, but incomplete pass.
Simpson's been impressive in the few snaps he's been out there, number 23.
You know, one way to look at this is we've just seen that constant carousel of different people in different positions, and
Sinagra out of the gun. He's going to air it out down the field. Parker Simpson turns at the perfect moment. All instinct from the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, I think they'll know, okay, maybe we don't want to throw on this guy because athletic move got twisted around and, oh, man, just about had that first interception.
Oh, he was so close there. And the pass intended for Klukas there, I think it was. But, boy, Simpson comes in cold off the bench. 5 snaps of the ball. He's influencing everything that's happening on the field.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're obviously going to target him. New guy in the backfield. Let's have a look at him.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 and a chance here for UBC. They've got Katsantonis, number 18, back as well. Trey Kellogg. Nice dance by Kellogg, but the second wave is going to catch up to him. And he's going to go down at about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 83. Brendan Thera-Plamondon in for Calgary on that special teams tackle.
So Thera-Plamondon will make the stop, but it's up to Mr. O'Connor and company. Joel Pinto has the touchdown, but and he looked explosive on that one play and also on a nice return in which he fumbled. But clearly O'Connor to Pinto is the go-to on this team. Instead, they will pass it to Ben Cummings out of the backfield. Cummings battles his way, tough yards. Gets close to the midfield stripe at about the 53-yard line.
I like that. That's the first screen we've seen out of them all night long again. And again, it's just, great play calling in a situation where you think they're going to be desperate to take a shot. I also like that they're getting Pinto in that slot position to maybe set up for another shot at the post that they had success on earlier.
Well, let's see what's happening here. This UBC offense is full of weapons. There's no question about it. Cummings remains in the game in the backfield. O'Connor out of the shotgun this time. 3 steps and a quick pass to Trey Kellogg. Tries to dance, gets over the midfield stripe to about the Calgary 51-yard line.
Ooh, lowering the boom, number 51, Blake Gow. Tremendous hit on that play. Calgary seems content to send 3 now. They know that UBC's got to be poking down the line.
So 2nd and 3 at about the 50-yard line of the Dinos. O'Connor runs to the far sideline. He's just going to get what he can get here. I think he may have gotten the first down. We'll see where they mark it, but O'Connor is astute enough to know that he's got a chance to move the sticks. Indeed he does. They will move the chains.
Down. Yeah, another great wrinkle, right? We haven't seen him run. We've seen him run right a few times. Takes off to his left. A little bit of variety to throw at Calgary here.
Well, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan. And you know what? People don't think he can run either. O'Connor, when he decides to run the football, is pretty effective.
Yeah.
So nice to see that. He's got a great arm as well. But if UBC is going to do something to get back into this football game, there's going to have to be a chain reaction. Something big is going to have to happen. It's not going to be steady, concentrated drives. They're going to have to get some of it back in a hurry.
Yeah.
And whether that's on defense or special teams, you think one of those units is going to have to pitch in with a major if something is going to happen, because this Calgary team has been incredible defensively throughout. Morrison, Kellogg, and Pinto in a trips formation to the near side. They'll go up top, and they'll get Delorier. Great job there by JJ to snare that pass on the sidelines.
Yeah, great ball by O'Connor. Nice, great spiral coming out. Picked his spot, dropped it right in the bucket. Beautiful pass.
So UBC now with a healthy chunk on first down, looking at about a 2nd and a short 3 here for O'Connor. O'Connor to Pinto. And forward progress. Looks like Pinto got the first down. Yes, they will spot it, and he'll get it by about a yard.
Wangaby in there on the tackle as well. Great open field tackle on Travell Pinto. I'd be a little nervous going in on him.
But how many times have we seen back-to-back first downs by UBC? You know, in the passing game, it's been rare, and credit Calgary for taking UBC out of that rhythm tonight. Here's O'Connor again. On first down, he's going to have to move out of the pocket. I think he's just throwing this one away. No, he's not. He's got Morrison, and there's the flag down at the 5-yard line. Morrison with that veteran, great body control there at the 5-yard line on the sidelines.
I think he might get tagged for a push-off here, though. Let's just see.
Is it going to go offensive? We'll see what happens here. I thought Morrison had done a solid job. We'll take a look at the replay. A lot of air under that pass. If it happened right before the camera got to Morrison. We didn't really see anything there. Indeed, they're calling it against the Birds.
Yeah, I was a little bit ahead of the camera on that play, and he came off awfully clean.
He did. Good eyes there, Brent, and that's a tough break for UBC. After back-to-back first downs through the air, they were looking for the big strike down in the corner of the end zone.
But good to see him in the play call. You know, O'Connor's rolling out, looking for him. They're battling.
And they're taking shots now anyway. So 1st and 10 or 1st and 20, I don't know that it makes a huge difference here for O'Connor and his mindset within this offense. He'll take the snap and look downfield. Again, puts it up in the air to Morrison again, and Morrison had to turn himself around against the flow and unable to find the cohesion he needed with O'Connor there.
Yeah. And Calgary just loaded up. They sent a delayed blitz on there, and I think that led to O'Connor probably putting a little bit too much air underneath that ball. But
so back to the huddle on second down. Second and 20.
Yeah.
Marcus Brown, number 86, the freshman, lined up to the near side of the field. Morrison to the top. Great protection here as O'Connor steps up in the pocket. Oh, what a catch by Pinto! One-handed down to the 25-yard line.
Man.
Whew. Travell pulled that ball in.
And took a lick on that play as well. It's amazing that he actually hang on to the ball.
Take a look at that on the replay as O'Connor gets rid of it right before the line of scrimmage and wow, pulls it in with that one hand. And you're right about the hit there. Lawrence laid on the lumber, Brent.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, short of the first down though, 3rd and 1 it looks like here at the 25.
Yard short.
After all that, they don't get the first down.
I guess you want to make sure people are clear on the play call, but this gives Calgary a lot of time to scheme and have options, but it's a critically important first down to get. You know, you'd like to save those timeouts if you can for later in the game. But,
UBC was building up that rhythm on offense. So we saw Brown and Morrison leave the game. And they're going to bring Kellogg and Pinto to the high side of the field. Looks like J.J. Delorier lining up. UBC bringing in some extra help up front. They got Liam Mahara blocking in the backfield. That's Ben Cummings. And looks like BC is going to get it for UBC as he goes up the middle.
Yeah, a little better execution on that play under center and good hard run by Cummings. He had both arms wrapped around that ball. No fumbling.
Certainly protect the rock here as we get down to 7:12 remaining in a 20-point deficit for UBC. They're driving to the Calgary 23. O'Connor stands in, looks to the sideline, has a man in Morrison. That ball, I thought Pinto almost thought that was for him.
He did. I think it almost like he relayed it forward. I think he got his hand on it from what I was looking at.
We got to take a look at the replay here. I don't know. I think it was clean. I don't know, but Morrison was there. That's what matters if you're a UBC fan. And here come the Birds. O'Connor feels the pressure, puts it up in the air, and Morrison makes the catch. They call a touchdown for Alex Morrison, the veteran. Big touchdown, and UBC needed that.
Sure did. And again, Morrison's big playability, definitely height, and just a real great fade pass. And give it to O'Connor. He stood in there in the face of the blitz and waited till the very last minute to get that ball out.
Morrison did a great job. Of course, he got called for offensive pass interference down near the Calgary goal line earlier in this fourth quarter, but he is able to get a touchdown there as the Birds with Hutchins put the extra point through. So 30-17, that's a 13-point deficit for UBC. And they are going to need some big-time karma here over the final 6:52 to turn back this incredible Calgary team.
It's a great drive by UBC. They're finally putting it together on that drive. Calgary sort of backed off a bit on the pass rush, but it's going to be interesting. We're going to see some special teams fireworks here, I think, on this kickoff.
Well, this Calgary team has been, as much as they were held back in the first half by UBC in their defense, they certainly flexed their muscles in that third quarter when they needed to. When clutch time came, they answered with 3 touchdowns in the third quarter to take a commanding lead. UBC's got one of them back, but the Birds need a whole lot more if they want to move into first place tonight in the Canada West. Talked a bit about Parker Simpson. He's out there now on special teams.
Great set of hands.
As Calgary sends Lawrence back to receive. Lawrence That was a big hit on Travell Pinto. That one-handed catch, Lawrence just lays on the lumber. He's a kind of player, who wouldn't want him on your team? Number 3 does such a great job, and now he's out there to receive this kickoff from Hutchins.
Interesting lineup here. You've got, I'm sure Calgary will drop back out of this, but you've got a lot of field for an onside player. If Calgary doesn't drop back, which I'm absolutely positive they will from the front line.
Of course, UBC coming in off that huge crowd, 10,000 at homecoming. One of the largest crowds ever in this facility here at Thunderbird Stadium. And the team was away for a week. They're back. It's promoted as a blackout night, but not a huge promotion on the level of homecoming. Yet they've got a pretty healthy crowd here, and it's great to see that momentum stick 2 weeks down the road with this Point Grey crowd, which can be a little fickle. A lot of options if you live in the Vancouver area on your weekends here.
And lots going on campus tonight too. I think there's a concert going on as well. And
yes. So here come the Birds, and a kick by Hutchins down the field. Lawrence takes it at his own 15. He's gaining some yardage here as he breaks his way up towards the 40. Breaks free down the sidelines, and it takes a sideline tackle to prevent Lawrence from going the distance. He gets taken down at about the UBC 48-yard line.
Dan Hladek sliding over. I don't think that's what they drew up. I think they wanted a contained play, but boy, that puts Calgary in a pretty good position here.
Wow.
Putting some pressure on that UBC defense to really step up.
What a player Lawrence is, both with open field and as an attacking defender. Just an all-out kid who does a great job here for the Dinos. So Calgary with great field position here to get those points back. If you're the UBC secondary and you have been waiting to make a play, fate will be calling you at this moment on this drive. This is when they have to step up. They'll keep it on the ground, though, with Antwi. And he goes right out through a tackle and bulls his way down to about the 45-yard line, close to a first down.
Yeah, that's Isaiah Joseph was in on that play, knifed in from the side, and they're going to be taking their time here running that ball for Calgary and milking the clock as much as they can.
That Snogger will come right up under center as they try to sneak it for those few inches they need for the first down. Keep that clock moving if they can, but there's 5:48 remaining.
Yep, they've first down. That's a big play for UBC. Or a big play for Calgary. UBC's got to really think about a pressure play here. You've got to be thinking they're just going to keep running the ball. So what can you do to dislodge it? Maybe Jonas can get another pick here.
Well, certainly the character built through that running game. And there's a pass this time. Breaking free through tackles. Shoddy tackling there by UBC. And that's Justin Daziuk. Able to get some yak yards there.
Yeah, Simpson in on the initial tackle, but just couldn't quite get the wrap up. And another first down play for Calgary. Boy, the clock winding down.
Yeah, these are the moments when UBC needs to be sure-handed. We talked about how great the tackling was for both of these teams through the first 2 quarters of play, but UBC needs to wrap up there. They need, if they want to have any hope here of pulling out a miracle. Snagra high snap to Antwi. And that running play so consistent for Calgary today. They're getting 4 to 5 yards off it every time they hand the ball off to Antwi. He makes that one cut up the middle, and he goes over the 25-yard line.
Yeah, UBC's ripping at the ball. Not only is he picking up the yards, but he's dealing with a host of players tearing at that ball, doing anything to try and force a fumble.
So let's call that second and about 5 yards to go from the UBC 24-yard line. Antwi again in the backfield. Sinagra finds him, but Antwi can't squeeze it. Incomplete. And that'll bring up third down and perhaps the first field goal here.
Yeah, DeFonte's trotted out. He's got the platform. Looks like it's going to be about a 36-yard attempt. Well within his range.
So that would be a nail in the UBC coffin.
Oh, they moved the platform up. It looks like just over a 30-yard attempt here.
So about a 31-yarder here as DeFonte looks to make it a 33-17 game. Kick is up and
wide. That'll flip up a single on the board.
So UBC dodging a bullet there. It keeps it the margin at 14 points instead of 16.
Yeah.
UBC,
that's big.
It is, because they would have had to have 2-point converts on 2 touchdowns just to tie. And that's not the case here as they go wide left on the DeFonte 31-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah. And they take over at this spot, well, roughly in the same vicinity they would have got after the field goal. But again, no time wasted on the play as well. That's good karma for UBC. And it sets up for what should be an action-packed 3 minutes, just under 4 minutes to end this game.
Every snap so important now to UBC. Keep drives alive here if you're wearing the black and yellow or black and gold today on this blackout night here at Thunderbird Stadium. The Birds debuting that third jersey.
And I'm not sure what happened there, Howard, but it looks like a penalty.
Because the Birds are starting at the 20 when the field goal is attempted from about the 30. So I think that's a pretty safe bet. You're right about that, Brent. We're not sure what happened there, but UBC starting from their own 20-yard line. O'Connor, deep ball, has a man. Morrison turned again. Just not there. The coverage provided by Dion Leonard, number 2.
Yeah, O'Connor took another good lick on that play on the blitz.
He's taken some shots, and you know what, boy, I tell you, Morrison has been close on a number of big plays.
Yeah, just can't. It seems to be just getting the balls coming on his outside shoulder. He's just not getting around quick enough to make those receptions.
That was a long run for Morrison. He's still on the field, and he will line up on the far side of the field. Marcus Brown, 86 on the near. And here comes O'Connor to Delorier. Is that a catch? They will signal, oh, yes. Are they saying no catch? No, a catch.
Yeah, they're giving it to him.
So at the 30-yard line.
And Calgary be content to give him that all the way down the field. So you got to take it when you need it. But
well, Delorier getting right to the sticks and getting the first down for UBC now at the 30-yard line. UBC has to put tempo in this offense. They go to the far sideline. Can't get there again to Morrison.
Yeah, working that field side, wide side over to O'Connor's left. And again, that's probably another 10-yard, 8-yard out or so. But that's a long ball.
That is a long ball. You're right about that. And Morrison on the receiving end of a couple long bombs here in this series. Again, out there, check. They probably won't go to him again on this this pass attempt. Here he is scrambling. O'Connor gets rid of the ball. And that's Travell Pinto with the reception.
That looks like it's going to move the sticks again, yeah. Again, Pinto coming up clutch, right?
Nice catch by Travell as he falls to the ground at the 42-yard line. And a first down for the Thunderbirds. 2:57 remaining. Time certainly an issue here for UBC. Look at how complete this Calgary effort has been tonight, from that third quarter flurry of offense all the way down to this consistent take away your big play defense against the UBC Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and See what you got in your trick bag right now, because
Take out the best arrow in your quiver. Is that what you're saying? I think so.
that's what I'm saying. And the name of the game is Get Vertical, I believe.
Get vertical, and no one does that better than Travell Pinto. Although Will Watson missing from action would have been huge here. As a foil, hit the pass or the snap to O'Connor to the sidelines. Delorier, and again, boy, is he turning into a nice possession receiver for this UBC football team.
Yeah, inside of the night that UBC's having, he's having a heck of a game tonight. Just clutch on those short passes, and he's obviously got O'Connor's trust.
The courage quotient as well, because Delorier, not the biggest guy. Second and about 6 here. Go to Delorier this time, puts on a move and gets a first down, I believe.
Yeah, got it.
He knew what he had to do, yeah.
Got Lawrence turned around and got a couple extra yards and got out of bounds.
Well, the last of the football playing Deloriers, and they are perhaps BC's first family of football. Great catch there by JJ. On the sidelines, gives UBC a first down at their own 53-yard line. Check that. Yeah, 53. I will call it 53. Morrison this time lining up to the near side of the field. O'Connor, the option, steps up, feels the pressure, gets the ball away to Kellogg. And Trey Kellogg gets what he can. It's going to be a gain of about 3 yards. But again, they get to the quarterback, and those have to be mounting on O'Connor.
Yeah. O'Connor stepped up. He had that clean break and just, keeping his eyes downfield the whole time. And when he felt the pressure, felt the hand on his back, improvised and kept the play alive.
So 2nd and long, 2nd and 8 here as O'Connor rifles it to Pinto, can't make the catch. And Travell staying with it till he hits the turf. Almost thought he had a chance to get it again, but couldn't drag it in.
Well, that's at least going to stop the clock. But
boy,
that's what I like. I like Pinto in that middle and maybe with a bit of a double move, like a slant and go or a post corner or something like that at this point to get your shot, because we're going to need 2 if you're cheering on the UBC side.
From the Birds' perspective, it's go time, and they need big plays and need a bunch of them. Here's O'Connor, takes a huge hit as he releases the football. And looks like the hit comes courtesy of number 83, Brendan Terra-Plamondon.
Yeah.
He drives O'Connor to the turf.
And he's a big boy.
Ooh.
That's a lot of weight coming on O'Connor. And that ball just hung. You can tell he got stopped sort of mid-release on that one.
And those hurt, Brent, but they hurt more on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Because you're surrendering the ball at the spot. Calgary, 1st and 10, 1 yard shy of the midfield stripe at the 50 at their own 54, and they will go Pony Express here the rest of the way. And again, Antwi. Oh, no, that's a different runner. I'm sorry, apologies. Calgary handing off to Cole Cussman, number 32. Some fresh legs off the bench.
Yeah, getting some time in at the game. I think Calgary's feeling pretty secure with this lead at this point.
That Calgary offensive line, the sense of they must be feeling it right now. What a job they've done, and they're able to just get it to their running backs now, Brent. And boy, we're under 2 minutes to go. Tremendous job here by the Dinos. Well, this time they are going to pass as Antwi steps up the block and whistles blow.
Timeout UBC, yeah. Effective play call. Thinking about that Calgary offensive line, I don't think you can underestimate the emotional lift of their teammate who was injured earlier in the game and then being okay and getting off the field. And, now you're playing for something. The game's important, but when you're playing for a teammate, you want to go relay that good news. We got the game for you, buddy.
And that player, we believe, was number 56, Spencer Roy.
That's right, yeah.
So great point there, Brent, playing for their fallen comrade. I think from UBC's perspective, regardless of what happens in this football game, though, Calgary coming in with that huge plus-minus. I think UBC, they haven't played well. But at the same time, I think they know that if they get into another one-game situation with this Calgary team, that they're there with them with a chance to do something if they can bring their A game.
Yeah. I think the positives you take out of this is the defense hung in for a long, long time. We had a bit of a discombobulated game with how the clock worked in time and those kind of things. But, again, the 2 games we've covered here at home, the defense, kind of the unsung story.
Down to 152, Howard Samura, Brent Calvert here from Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver, British Columbia. Thanks for watching as the Dinos putting the finishing touches on a tremendous effort here tonight with a completion down on the 45-yard line of the Thunderbirds. So they are slinging it. I thought they would just continue to hand the ball off, but they are.
Kyle Miller getting in on the action from his defensive back spot there with the tackle.
That throw from Sinagra is going to move the sticks down and give the Dinos a 1st and 10 from the 45.
We did mention that Calgary receivers just sort of unobstructed. They seem to have lots of green space for their catches.
And here they keep it going. This time Antwi, the handoff, he goes right into the pile and keeps those legs moving. Short little gain.
And can't say enough about that middle linebacker play tonight. Defensive back play with Tanner Friesen. He's been flying in and making all kinds of tackles there. Again, another great game for him within not the outcome that UBC wanted, but there's definitely some bright spots to play off here for UBC.
2-touchdown deficit for UBC, who gave up 3 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter to Calgary. Coming off that, as you mentioned, Brent, a bit of a different situation here with an extended player injury, game stoppage. 2:24 left, or 3:24 check that left in the 2nd quarter when they abandoned play on the rest of the 2nd quarter and tacked it on after a halftime break. And UBC not the same team coming back after the break.
Yeah. And I also enjoy watching Blake Neal on the sidelines. He is relentless in his conversations with whatever sideline official he draws. He's almost literally in their ear whenever is available, between barking at the coordinators or players. But he's giving it to the poor guy over there tonight.
Well, Blake's going to have to deal, barring a miracle here, deal with being a 3-2 team here at the break and really trying to, I don't know if the term reinvention is what they need to do in terms of building themselves back up to contention here as the postseason nears. If you're Wayne Harris, you're 5-0 and you're in the catbird seat here. Great completion there for the Dinos.
Good hit by Parker Simpson, lowering the shoulder on there. You know, one potential thing to look at, and it may not be the right answer, but tonight we've called so many different players in so many different positions, and part of me just has to think that if there's, from the player perspective, that can be looked at as a little bit of instability, because maybe it's if I make a mistake, you know, somebody else is going to go in, or I'm not sure if I'm the guy, or I got too many assignments. It's something to consider. You know, they've got talented athletes. Maybe they just need to be given that security in their position and a little bit of trust.
We'll see what happens here. There's so many things that are going to come out over practice this week, we're sure, with this UBC group, as they try and get things back on track. Of course, UBC will head to Saskatchewan in 2 weeks' time for a game against the Huskies, and the Dinos as well off next week, back to action at home. They've got 2 of their final 3 at home where they host Manitoba. Of course, the Bisons losing to the Alberta Golden Bears tonight behind an incredible rushing performance from Ed Elnicki. From what we've heard, 287 rushing yards for the Golden Bears running back, so congratulations to him. There's a handoff. Cussman, he runs hard down to about the 31-yard line. We're down to 29 seconds.
Maxwell in on the hit, and Cussman, both arms wrapped around that ball. He'll do a face plant, but no fumble.
Well, UBC's biggest defensive play of this game came on Calgary's first possession, when they intercepted the ball on the goal line, and a great job there by the Birds.
That was Lee in on that.
Malcolm Lee, you're the right, he's the one who got that one.
And We've got the victory formation coming here for Calgary.
Clock winding down to 10 seconds remaining here as the Dinos take an E, and Calgary will run off one more play here. And they'll leave Vancouver with a 31-17 victory.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, depending on the outcome from the Regina game, the Birds could find themselves in either second or third position coming out of this game.
Yeah, a Regina win would put the Rams into second place because they've beaten UBC and would have the same record. And that's going to do it here from Thunderbird Stadium on Canada West TV. The final score, the Calgary Dinos 31, the UBC Thunderbirds 17. Calgary to 5-0 on the season, UBC to 3-2. For my broadcast partner, Brent Calvert, for Shoyal Brown, and everyone else on our production crew here today, I'm Howard Samura bidding you farewell from Vancouver, BC, and we'll catch up with you down the road.